What is going on? Dynasty Superflex startup mock draft in session. We are filling the mock as we speak. The link is in the chat down below if you guys want to join it. Obviously, we are going to be ripping it here soon. The mock settings, you guys can see them in the top left corner. Dynasty, PPR, Superflex, half tight end premium, start 9, third round reversal. So 2 wide receiver, 2 flex is what we're rolling with, and then a super flex and so on and so forth. So we got about half the mock filled right now. If you guys do want to join it, like I said, that is linked down below in the chat. And when we are done this mock draft, we are going to tackle some dynasty decisions, questions, some teams that we have to go through, and some trade questions. We, obviously took a little bit of time off doing that because I was gone, but we are now back, or I am now back, and we can break those down.
Yep, absolutely. So we have 5 more spots? 5 more spots in this mock draft. If you guys are watching right now, again, 31 people in the stream at this moment. I'm sure that's going to keep increasing as people get the notifications on their phone. If you guys are free right now, whether you break on work or maybe you're home from school, if you're Dylan, you can join the mock. Dylan is already in here though. So
yeah, I mean, Dylan's a certified child, so I can't imagine he has any responsibilities going on. And a Thursday during the summer, he's probably.
I said home from school like it is in summer. I said home from school like it is in summer.
Yeah, what's going on, Jordan, in the chat here? We got a couple people in the chat too. Sandwich saying this startup mock changed his life. I don't know if that's a bot or not. Maybe it's not. College Football 26 is officially out. Can I have a mini rant of why is College Football 26 not for PC?
Is it not?
No. College Football 25 wasn't either.
Damn. I mean, maybe it's time to get a console just for fucking college.
I'm going to be 27 years old this year. I think it's a little too old to have a PS4 or PS5 in my house.
What you know about the lad with his Xbox, baby? Come on.
Yeah. No shot at, I'm getting married next year. We're probably going to start trying to have children soon. I'm not buying a video game console.
Aren't you going to show Bush Jr. how to rebuild a dynasty on College Football 26?
I can show him how to rebuild dynasty teams in fantasy football. That's about the farthest I'll get.
Nah, man. You don't want him to use Bryce Underwood?
I'm not trying to be a pro for 7 straight hours a day.
Bro, but you could be an all-time great. You might go first overall.
Yeah, I might. Yeah.
All jokes aside, though, it is pretty cool now. Did you notice how in the new Madden they're making it so if you have a road to glory career, you could add your player into the oncoming draft class?
Oh, that's kind of cool. I mean, yeah. I might get Madden because Madden is for PC and it's next gen now. It's next gen. It's Davis Mills. The thing that's nice about Madden, I think, too, is that you can play it a little bit more casually as long as you're not playing Ultimate Team, whereas College Football 26 seems like a little bit more of a time commitment to me. Ultimate Team in general is definitely a time commitment, but if you're just playing play nows or whatever, franchise mode, I feel like you can play it casually.
Yeah, no, for sure. Also, you heard this rumor, right?
I did. Yeah, I heard there's a rumor that Najee Harris is missing an eye.
Yeah, people were tweeting out him with eye patches on and shit. I'm like, what the fuck?
I mean, if it's true, this is going to be kind of insensitive if he lost his eye, but we'll see.
It's got to be a gag rumor, right?
It could be. Yeah, I mean, it's nothing's happened like this since JPP
blew off his hand
10 years ago or whatever. How long ago that was?
Maybe. Again, apologies. I empathize with anybody who's had a relative or a friend that has done something with a firework. But at the same time, I just will never understand it because it's if you're going to handle a firework, wear something more protective on your hands.
You got to be smart with fireworks.
And dude, if you're going to handle heavy duty appliances, you're going to be wearing goggles, you're going to be wearing gloves, you're going to be wearing protective gear. But a firework that is 100 times worse than in the damage what those can do compared to appliances, we're just handling it with our bare hands and no goggles on. I maybe I've never understood that, but I will never touch a firework or anything like that unless I know I have something protecting me.
Yeah, exactly. Don't point it at someone that's more serious. Yeah, that's not a great one there. We got one more spot in the mock draft and then we can get this thing going. I did leave the review link in the chat for anybody that does want to get a team review, get a trade question, get a start sit question. If you guys did not get a review voucher the last time we did a stream, we might send out some more depending on how many we have to go through after the stream is done and so on and so forth. So if you guys do want to get a trade review or a team review voucher, definitely leave your usernames in the chat. We might get to send out some of those. Today's the day I get a voucher. MooseTheGoose says, I'm on the cusp of something special, which of course is a is a meme in our Devy league because Danny took up 8 hours of every clock saying he was on the cusp of something special. We
To
are
be
full
fair,
in the back here, so we can get the order going.
every time I was on the cusp of something special, I came through with a move, and also first overall feels sweet.
And I'm on the complete opposite end of the board. So, yeah, that's where we're at. I'm going to make us a little smaller so people can see the roster here.
Not moves appliances. Like, I mean, like working with like jackhammers and like heavy duty machinery. Sorry. The appliances was not the right word. My apologies.
Yeah.
Also, Dylan, we've had this conversation with you multiple times. We cannot physically give a voucher if the account did not use code FSC. Like
yeah.
we
Also,
physically
if you want
cannot.
a voucher, I'm sorry, but you should ask the devs that, not us.
Yeah.
Go to site issues in the Discord; they'll take care of it.
Yeah, no, like we physically cannot hand vouchers. Like nobody will show up in our system to search for the vouchers unless they're using code FSC.
Yeah, you're on the clock, by the way.
Oh, right. I mean, funny enough, a guy that I actually just traded away in a league. Spoiler alert! Shout out Rylan, who's watching this. You guys will see that updated tomorrow. But Josh Allen.
There you go. Dylan, if you did make another account or whatever, just let me know what the username is and I can search it again one more time. But at the moment, yes, cannot see anything specifically.
You got a Mecha and an early first for Adrich, Ayuk, and Scattaboo. Are you what?
Yeah, that's insane. That's an
Give
insane.
me that all day. Yo, what's up? What's up, Andrew? What's up, Relentless? T. Higgins or Dak? 14 by 14 Superflex. 14 teams start 14. I mean,
that's a lot. It's a deep league, man.
Fuck. In a 14-team Superflex, though?
Brother's going to be starting Jalen Hyatt in his flex.
Holy crap. How many? I mean, 14 by 14. I mean, fucking Christ.
No, how many? I can't do math like that. 14 by 14. That's got to be 180 something players, right?
What? 56 plus 196.
Yeah, 196 players. Yeah, it's pretty insane.
Also, Dylan, because I know you're still in school, the way I equated that out is 14 by 10 and then 14 times 4. Little math tricks that you learn along the way, brother.
Yeah, there you go. T. Higgins or Dak. I mean, to answer the question, in a 14-team Superflex, I'd probably take Prescott, but it wouldn't be by a huge margin.
Agreed.
Chat, TM start 9. Send T-Law, Nico, and James Cook for Daniels and Downs. It's like relatively fair trade.
Daniels and Downs for T-Law, Nico, James Cook. Yeah, I mean, let's start 9. I think it's tough though because it's like you're also giving up a stud at wide receiver, but I still lean in a start 9.
Freaking 11 here. What the hell is going on?
Like you are giving up a stud at wide receiver, but I still think in a start 9, I just want the Daniels advantage. But like that's a good trade, honestly. Like that you know, like there's this trades you see sometimes. You're like, you know what? I kind of like that both ways. That's one of those.
Yeah, for sure. And as often is the case, we'll try and talk more about the mock than we usually do because we usually get sidetracked and start yapping about stuff. But I like that I was able to get Joe Burrow at 111. Like I have Joe Burrow ranked as my 105. So, I mean, I thought that was an insanely good value. Danny obviously goes with Josh Allen with the first pick. Nothing too surprising outside of that. I'm back on the clock here. Mahomes on the board. I could go receiver, which is probably the direction I could go here. I mean, Gibbs. I have Gibbs ranked in the first round, and I have Nakua ranked in the first round. So it'll be between those two specific players. I'll go with Puka because I feel like I can get good running back value later. So
I was just going to say, I've noticed these rooms a lot less quarterbacks being drafted high.
Yeah, I mean, like it's hard to justify, in my opinion, taking what is the next tier of quarterback of Drake May, Caleb Williams, Patrick Mahomes, those guys over like just proven dudes. Like I get that Caleb Williams and Drake May and Mahomes, if he bounces back, will probably supersede those guys in terms of value. But when you have the opportunity to draft like an every week 20 point per game wide receiver or running back, it's hard to pass on that.
I think that's respectable, but also, I mean, anytime I can get Caleb,
Caleb has now moved up to Danny's 4th overall player.
Dude, anytime I can get one of those guys in the second, like, dude, like, come on, I can't do it. I mean, Saquon Barkley over Caleb Williams and Drake May.
Yeah, no, that I can't do. But Gibbs and St. Brown and Nakua, I absolutely understand those.
Yeah, for sure.
Did I cook? I'm doing my startup right now, and I have drafted Josh Allen, Amari Hampton, RJ Harvey, Rashee Rice, and I'm about to be on the clock twice. There's absolutely zero chance I would probably have drafted RJ Harvey this high. I'm assuming you're 5 rounds into the mock or 4 rounds into the mock, give or take. And to me, RJ Harvey has absolutely no business going that high. So that would be my only one gripe with this is that I'm assuming you picked one and you took Josh Allen, Hampton, and Rice as the like 2-3 turn, give or take. So or maybe you traded up and down the board or something.
Damn, Harvey
RJ Harvey to me, I think is just a little steep, depending on what round you're in right now.
Yeah, I would agree. What William? I'm assuming you are no longer friends with that guy. What trade was Williams? Oh, the fucking Emeka one. Yeah, that was a rinse.
That was a rinse and repeat.
Can't believe Danny didn't take his guy to Lamb at 101. Yeah, I mean he was in close contention. I definitely considered him. Also, damn, all the quarterbacks go off before my pick. Now I'm sad.
Yeah, Relentless did say that it's a 16 teamer. So Allen, Hampton, RJ, and Rice makes a little bit more sense now because if it's a 16 team league, then Harvey probably went more so in like the 5th, 6th round of a 12 team startup. So it makes a little bit more sense now.
Yeah. Also, I take Hunter in every mock. Do I want to give the people a different look for once?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that would be smart.
Because I was going to go with Hunter and with Omari and Hampton, but because I always take Hunter, I'll let one of you guys get the steal of the draft, and I'll go with Marv and Hampton. Also, it's 3rd round reversal.
Steal of the draft is 212. Come on now.
What? For Hunter.
I love Hunter, but he's not the steal of the draft at 212.
I'm going to keep it a stack. Completely forgot it was 3rd round reversal. I thought I was going to double tap Omari and Hampton there.
Yeah, well, this is once again proof, Danny, that 3rd round reversal sucks.
No, it's the best still. But with that being said,
I was actually going to take, I never take McBride. I was actually going to take him because I never do and see what it looks like with an early tight end. Okay, I'm back on the clock. Do I want to go with Achane, Hampton? Those would be my highest 2 rated running backs for sure. And then I could go with Hunter because I never take him and he's always on your team. JSNs. I mean, Hunter's technically a tier break for me at wide receiver.
You got him this time.
And Hampton tier breaks for me at running back. I am going to take Devon Achane because he is my highest rated running back. So I'm going to roll with him.
You could have had your first Travis Hunter share in an FSE mock.
Not only I also don't actually have any Travis Hunter shares, period, in Dynasty, right? Because the only one I had, I traded to you.
Yeah, the only one you had is when you stole him in like the 5th round of our Devy league.
Yeah, well, dude, I told you this multiple times, but every time I wanted Hunter, at like 103 or something like that, he went 102. Every time I picked 102, I traded up to 101. So I just never got Hunter in any of my rookie drafts, which feels kind of shitty, but I'm definitely going to be keeping my eyes and ears peeled during training camp to see if I can acquire a share or two. Let's say we get some report that he's like playing all defense or something like that. Maybe I'll use it as a buy low window, but I'm going to be actively seeking them out for Hunter because I don't want to have no shares of this guy for sure.
Hunter 3.7 is such a steal, by the way.
Yeah,
I mean, you better acquire him from any league that I don't have him because I'll tell you what, I ain't selling that guy for. I wouldn't sell him for a firstborn child, to be honest.
Yeah, and Dylan, I think I explained this last time, but if your account's registered under Mason's name, I do not think you can pay us for a voucher if you're using code FLOCK. You can pay us for a voucher, but the review vouchers
we physically can't give out free vouchers.
Only apply to the person whose code you use. So again, these are better questions for the devs. I'm not a dev, so
yeah. Well, that's the thing. Like your name physically will not show up on our end unless you've used code FSE. Like that is the feature in the site.
Yeah, and your review voucher that like Mason gives you or whatever, again, maybe you'd have to ask Mason about this or one of the devs about this, but I'm fairly certain it can only be used to the creator who gave you the voucher. Yeah. I don't think like I can give a voucher that someone can use on code domain or something like, because then otherwise, we could screw the domain guys and just be like giving out a bunch of vouchers that they're going to get free reviews from.
How does that fundamentally work? Like,
no, it doesn't make sense.
Let's just bone these guys with a bunch of reviews.
Yeah, let's give out 40 review vouchers for domain.
Also, holy Christ, everybody just does not want a quarterback in this room.
No, we're all fading quarterbacks here. I think Bo Nix at the 3.6 is insanely good value for what it's worth. And the fact that CJ is still on the board is also insanely valuable.
Yeah, the fact that he's going to remain on the board is even crazier.
The fact that you're not going to take him with 2 selections is insane to me.
I mean, I'm considering with
as big of
he wouldn't even be the quarterback I take.
As big of a Nico Glazer as you are, you should be way higher on Stroud than you currently are.
He wouldn't even be the quarterback I take for full reference.
But again, knowing what you think of Nico, dude, I'm surprised you're not higher on Stroud.
What did we just say? Spoiler alert on the video you guys will be seeing this weekend. Like quarterback 6 to fucking like 19 this year.
Well, yeah, we were referring to redraft though.
Yeah.
Like Stroud being 24 years old and in that tier means that he's probably ahead of them.
I'll just take Jordan Love. Who do I want here? Actually, real question.
I don't think it's outrageous to take Jordan Love. I just think it's incongruent of you to love Nico as much as you do and not like Stroud more.
I'll make my pick and then I will comment on that. Honestly, my highest rated player, I'm looking at it right now, is probably Trevion. Let's see.
You better pick. You got 2 seconds, brother.
Oh, shit. Yeah, let me go Trevion Henderson.
Oh, you got auto Jordan Love. Fired.
I'll take it. I was actually between Love and Henderson, so I'll take the Love. I love the Love.
Where's the love? Scribble says Burrow at 111. Am I smoking crack? You are not. And I could not believe my eyes when he was on the board. Danny probably has him ranked like fucking 208 or something at this point. So I don't know why everybody hates Joe Burrow, but I'll just take the guy who's probably a future Hall of Famer in his prime, who has the best passing projection of any quarterback in football. That's just me. I like fantasy points, but
no, he's solid. I think you got him about where he should go.
111, dude. Come on, man.
I mean, I just prefer the wide receivers. That's really
again, that's fine if structurally you think you can, because I think part of that for you is that you know you're going to get one of those other quarterbacks in the second round, probably. But for me, I would just much rather take the bird in the hand with Joe Burrow and draft a receiver in the second round.
Who's Eric describing?
It's because he can't do his own dishes or laundry. Well, I mean,
Burrow?
Probably not. Does Burrow not do his own dishes?
I didn't even know that.
Burrow dishes.
I mean, he probably just got, what was it when his house got broken into and he had just like a random fucking chick that was like sleeping there? Am I tripping?
I'm looking up if there's like a story about Joe Burrow, unless he's talking about you.
Oh, I mean, I do my own dishes. Laundry every now and then when I want to contribute, you know? I'm kidding.
Yeah. Kyler falling to the 407 is also insane. Dude, Dylan starting his draft with J-Jet, London, Bo Nix, and Kyler feels pretty nice to me. Kyler in round 4 is beautiful, man.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, if only he had grabbed Nico, then we would have been talking serious damage.
Yeah. Also, like Kyler, if Kyler's good, which remains to be seen to some degree.
You're not wrong, by the way, Scribbles.
Kyler's going to crush, man.
You're not wrong, Scribbles.
Yeah. There's still a couple good ones on the board, to be honest, that I might be tempted to take with my pick.
That's why I almost wanted to take Henderson at my 401 because I'm like, dude, there's still quarterbacks I think I'm going to like at the 5-6 turn.
Yeah, definitely reasonable.
Who knows? Maybe this is the run, though. I mean,
this is the run by the looks of it because I'm probably going to take one, too, because there's 2 guys that are pretty clearly damn it, I wanted Birdie. So my highest rated quarterback, I think, is Trev.
Oh, Trevor. Yeah, easily.
I think it's Trevor. Let me take a look.
It should easily be.
Yeah, and he's actually, in fact, a tier break for me. I do have Purdy ranked higher of the 2 guys, but I do love me some Trevor there. And this guy does not have a quarterback that's picking behind me, so I think I probably should take him first.
IDUP, if you are here, I'm going to search you in our system right now. So you said IDUP 28?
Yeah, give her a rip.
IDUP 28. Here. Sent you one.
Yeah, you got a voucher in the pocket there, IDUP. And again, this is how you get one for what it's worth. If anybody's like, I've been watching for so long and I've never had a team review, like that's a quick way for us to give you one for sure.
For sure.
Assuming you're being honest, of course.
Well, no, I've recognized his username.
We could also see on the back end if you've had a team review already. So if you go, I've never had one, and we've done 3 for you already, like we can see that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, also too, like you mentioned, I remember seeing IDUP on streams when I was in Guelph.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He's been
like,
my
in Guelph.
Best available player here would be either Breece Hall or I think Devontae or Worthy among the receivers. I'll grab Breece. Honestly, I think I could get some good receiver values late. I'm gonna grab an Achane Breece start at running back. I got my 2 quarterbacks already, and Nakua to anchor my receiver core. Kind of going hero wide receiver, which I've seen. Me and Danny were talking about this before we went live, but if you guys are on Twitter, Dynasty and Fantasy Football Twitter, you'll know that there's a herd of Twitter thread people. Obviously, make your content how you want to make your content, but there is a lot of people on Twitter that I've seen that write threads and whatnot who have been pushing the idea of grabbing one anchor receiver in redraft and then kind of filling out your running back core, maybe taking an elite onesie, and then doubling back round 4, 5, 6, 7, especially when you factor in Danny redraft ADP, like where you can get in round 5, you're getting Hunter. In round 6, you're getting, some of these guys that are just much, much better projections than what you would get in round 6 on Underdog at wide receiver, what you'd get in round 8 on Underdog at wide receiver.
Well, I will say, I think that's very well the case in redraft leagues right now because you're looking at the gap. I feel like wide receivers versus running back is priced appropriately later or early on. But outside of that, I mean, realistically, there are running backs that you want to grab early. If you can grab 2 in your first 3 rounds, you grab your quarterback, you grab your tight end. It's like there's still wide receivers down the board. Like we were talking about it on today's video. Ibuka's in the 110s right now. Ted McMillan and Travis Hunter are in the 60s. Like
Higgins and the other rookies are going super, super late, especially if you're in a league where it's a start 7 or something like that. QB and tight end going to be more valuable. Running back going to be a little bit more valuable as well. So taking an anchor wide receiver 1, like let's say you picked at 4 and you took CeeDee Lamb with your first pick. And in the 2nd and 3rd round, you double tap RB and you take like Josh Jacobs, Breece Hall or something like that. It kind of does make sense that you maybe in a start 7 ESPN managed league, maybe you do take a George Kittle in round 4. Maybe you do take a Jalen Hurts or Jaden Daniels in round 4. And then you're able to grab more wide receivers later on.
Am I reading correctly that Justin Fields just went over Dak Prescott?
I guess so. Justin Fields, I mean, I get the ceiling case for Justin Fields for sure. I
Why not?
Think if Justin Fields is a baller and becomes the Jets' future QB1, he will absolutely be more valuable than Dak, but I don't think that's very likely.
Just take the proven franchise quarterback instead of the guy on a fucking bridge deal.
Yeah. Hey, Dak Prescott got to stay on the field though. Best ability is availability. Am I right?
I mean, but like even Penix for that matter. It's like
Penix
if you're going to take young upside,
have gone for me over Dak if you're going to go in that direction.
Straight up.
This is a good question by Eric. What's the drop off for hero wide receiver? Eric, are you specifying in Dynasty or are you specifying in redraft? Because in Dynasty, I would say I would want probably somebody in the tier of Puka Nacua, St. Brown, Brian Thomas, Drake London, Ladd McConkey, Nico Collins. Like, I don't even think I would be comfortable with Travis Hunter or Marvin Harrison or Ted McMillan or even AJ Brown, unless you were like a super competitive team running a hero wide receiver type of strategy out of your startup. But in redraft, I think we can, once you make your pick here, Danny, we can talk about this in depth. Right. This is a really good question, actually. In redraft, I think my top, obviously, I'd be okay with a hero wide receiver with Chase, Lamb, Jefferson, Puka Nacua, Malik Neighbors, and St. Brown, Drake London, Nico Collins. I'd be okay with it too. The question for me would be, am I okay running a hero wide receiver with BTJ, AJ Brown, Ladd McConkey, and then maybe even further down, Tyreek Hill, JSN, Garrett Wilson, Rashee Rice?
Yeah, sorry, I'm about to make my pick. Honestly, I feel like I can compete enough this year to the point where I think Kyron's actually a good value because I do think after him, running back gets a little more unclear. I'm not even a big Kyron guy, but
Cook over Kyron at the moment until I see contract stuff resolve itself for either player. I think I prefer Cook, but
yeah, I mean it's tough. I'm not even a big Kyron guy. Just 6'1" does feel cheap.
Yeah.
To be honest.
What are your thoughts on that? In redraft, let's say you were going to run one of these Twitter bro strategies where you let's say you grab George Kittle in round 4, you grab Jalen Hurts, Joe Burrow in round 5. That's what your plan is. You think that strategy is optimal. Who would you be okay with as your anchor wide receiver in either round 1 or 2? I would imagine is when you're taking them. And then you're going to take 2 running backs in rounds 2 or 3 or 1 and 3 or 2 and 1.
How many wide receivers I would classify as
how many
hero?
wide receivers you'd be okay with hero wide receiver?
Hero wide receiver. I would say that the cutoff for me, this is tough. Rashee Rice.
Yeah, I wouldn't because I have Rashee Rice at wide receiver 17 in redraft. So I'm not definitely okay with him as my hero wide receiver. But
him and AJ Brown, I have 11 and 12. They're the cutoff for me.
Yeah, my tier 5 wide receivers are the ones I would not be okay with. And that's JSN, T. Higgins, Garrett Wilson, Devontae Adams, Rashee Rice, Mike Evans, and Marvin Harrison. I would not be okay with those guys as my wide receiver 1 in a hero wide receiver build. I'd want to have those guys ideally as my wide receiver 2, probably.
That's where my tier 4 is. 13 Higgins, 14 Adams, 15 Harrison, 16 Hill, 17 JSN, 18 Wilson. Yes, I did drop Tyreek Hill a little bit. The RP profile is quite concerning.
Yeah, I dropped him from wide receiver 10 to wide receiver 12 after I saw some of that stuff that he might have fallen off a little bit. I still generally think that the swing is the same. And it's not like we expected him to score well on RP.
I agree. It's just the difference for me is the fact that Adams was better last year, and Adams is in an offense I feel better about. So that was the tiebreaker for me putting Adams above him. And Harrison, I think, is actually on the opposite end, where as we get close to the season, it's going to be a lot more upward trajectory. It's going to be a lot more positive news for him. So that was the main differences. I already had, I believe, T. Higgins above him. He's still in this tier. It's just those 3 guys, Higgins, Adams, and Harrison, I did move above Hill, but I do still have Hill above JSN and Garrett Wilson.
Yeah, you're much higher on Harrison than I am, dude.
I moved him up a little bit. He's at 15.
Yeah, I have him at 19 among wide receivers. Like, I'm a little bit lower on Harrison. It's not that I don't think Harrison's good. It's that I think I prefer the other guys. And I do think that, like, in leagues where people, like, think about redraft leagues that you and I play in, you and I both know that when players get out to really good starts and the season start out strong, they're easy to trade on the open market. I don't necessarily think Harrison's going to get out to like a great start like that. Well, I was going to take Penix, dude. I don't even take Penix very often. I thought that was great value.
Well, that's the thing. I already had 2 quarterbacks. Otherwise, I easily would have taken a quarterback at that turn. I just wanted to kind of keep the integrity of the mock a little bit, and I not just hold quarterbacks for the best ideal like look. But adding to that real quick, the reason too with Harrison, let me ask you, chat, if Corey is a competitive team, and you have you have Puka Nacua 4, right?
Yep.
Puka Nacua 4, you had Harrison at 19, you said?
Mm-hmm.
As a competitive team with a bunch of value on his dynasty roster, should he not make that upgrade?
Okay. I'm referring to Harrison as my wide receiver 19 in redraft.
No, I know. I'm just saying as a competitive team, knowing that you have Harrison lower in redraft, why not consolidate and get the wide receiver 4 for you?
So
as a winning team.
The offer that Danny has on the table to me in my No Flockin' League, which I actually detailed in the video of me sending out trade offers, trying to upgrade and get wide receiver help. Danny offered me Puka and a second in 27. What year is that? What year the second was?
Let me see what the exact.
I think it was a 2 this year, actually. I think it's a 2 in 2026 and Puka for 2 1s, my 2028 and 2027 first plus Harrison. So that's what Danny has on the table that he's referring to, which I think is a good offer in a vacuum. I tend to think that I can get the other elite wide receiver production pieces like Puka for a little bit less than that, which is what I've been doing in the meantime, sending out offers to the Chase manager, to the Jefferson manager, to the Lamb manager, to those neighbors managers, to those type of teams. And if I can't, then I'll definitely rethink your trade. But as of now, I like the idea of not doing that.
Well, that's the point I'm making. It's like you got the bird in the hand here. You could get a better offer, but until it happens, where's it going to happen from?
Yeah.
Have you explored it?
Yeah, I've explored it. There's two people. I'm not going to say which receiver it is, and I'm not going to say who it is exactly, but there's 2 receivers that are in a similar territory to the production that Puka can give you, who have said that they're seriously considering my offer, which is less than the one that you want, obviously, for Puka. So I actually am kind of doing the little hero wide receiver build here in Dynasty. I took Puka, obviously, with my first pick. Or my first receiver pick. And then I drafted Hawkinson as my tight end, kind of like needle mover. And then I have Brees and Achane as my top 2 running backs. I have Burrow and Lawrence as my top 2 quarterbacks. And then I just took George Pickens as like my next receiver. I'm hoping at the next couple of rounds here, I can grab some more receiver talent to help fill out this core, but we're going to see how it plays out from a dynasty perspective. But I do think, Danny, maybe we should even talk about this. We've planned out our entire summer, July and August, all the videos that we have coming.
Also,
one thing, ideas that you guys send us are obviously
check your account, Dylan.
Okay, so now you have a voucher according to Danny here. The one thing that we didn't talk about, Danny, is we're going to obviously do video strategies on 0 running back and hero running back and double hero running back. Maybe we should do a hero wide receiver one, because I do think underdog not viable, but I do think redraft leagues it is.
Yeah, I mean, not I don't think
Small redraft leagues. Start 7, start 8 redraft leagues. It's viable in my opinion.
zero wide receiver. No,
Hero, I said.
Hero works. Yes.
Yeah, I'm not saying we should do a 0 wide receiver build. I said hero wide receiver. 0 wide receiver is not viable in my opinion.
I respectively,
0, I think, is viable.
I respectfully do not want to hit him with the gritty 18.
No, we do not want to be doing a hit him with a gritty. If no one knows what Danny's referencing, there's a user on Underdog who like intentionally never drafts receivers high.
Yeah, no, it's actually funny. Shout out gritty.
I think Nico is the end of the hero wide receiver tier. I tend to agree. I don't think like so St. Brown, London, and Nico in my redraft wide receiver rankings are 6 through 8 for me. And I tend to think that they would also be my those are my anchor receivers that I feel comfortable with. Like, because if I had only BTJ as my top receiver, only AJ Brown as my hero wide receiver, only Ladd McConkey, only Tyreek Hill, I think I would feel a little uneasy not having a receiver until like round 5 or round 6 or round 7.
I mean, you're mentioning Nico being the last guy for you. Whoever commented that, who commented that?
That was
Blake.
Eric said it as well. He said, in my opinion, drops off after Nico.
I got Nico wide receiver 5. There's more wide receivers after him. I'm assuming you're saying that with reference of him being low.
He's at 8 for me. So there's 8 guys that I would feel comfortable. So London, Nico, St. Brown, Neighbors, Nakua, Jefferson, Lamb, and Chase would be the ones that I feel comfortable in hero wide receiver builds. Because the way that you execute the hero wide receiver, and we'll talk about this more because I definitely want to make a video on this because I do think it's a good strategy in redraft, is you want to win the other positions probably, which means that you're going to draft 2 running backs, presumably in the first 3 rounds. And then you're probably going to draft at least 1 elite onesie and maybe another running back in between. So you probably are taking your second receiver by round 5 or round 6 or round 7. And if you're doing that, then you kind of want somebody who's just a projection for a 20 point per game season. And I think you can say confidently that Nico and St. Brown, and the only one that's maybe a stretch for some people is London, but I feel very confident in London this year.
Yeah, I think that's reasonable. Also, damn, the running backs have been completely rinsed dry, it looks like. Wide receiver, again, like, it's tough. Take downs with one of them.
Yeah,
the other pick. I mean, like, again, there's still like darts available in the 8th. That feels kind of cheap, but like obviously I have 2 quarterbacks, so I don't want to ruin the integrity here. I could go with a running back. I don't mind Pacheco, but I do think this is steep early in the 8th. He's kind of somebody I would rather in the 9th, unfortunately, here. So I think I'm just going to go back to the receiver well, and I think the clear top player here. I didn't want to just copycat every mock that I ever do, but if you guys are going to give me Luther Burden in the 8th, I will take Luther Burden in the 8th.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's insane. And Dylan makes a good point too. In ESPN leagues, like think about it. You can get your hero wide receiver in Nico Collins or BTJ or London in like the mid to late 2nd round after taking Bijan in the 1st round. And you knowing that that's what the wide receiver ADP is for those guys, you'll probably get very good values in round 5, 6, 7. You'll probably walk at around 5, 6, 7 with like Travis Hunter, DK Metcalf, and Chris Godwin or whatever. And you'd feel pretty confident in those guys being your depth after drafting a bunch of running backs early. So I fear we might be back to the old, you might want to get your RBs early in like ESPN leagues or get your your RBs early in sleeper leagues. Like, especially in round 1, like if you're deciding between Bijan and Justin Jefferson and ESPN's the platform you play on, I tend to think that it'd probably be smarter to go like Bijan or Gibbs or whatever.
Also, shout out Jory. I like that you guys don't always agree with each other and we'll fight tooth and nail. Yeah, there were a couple of boxers in the ring. It's like you're fucking Holyfield and I'm Tyson. I'm biting your ears sometimes and you're kicking me in the nuts. It is what it is.
I'm also in my RB Unk era as well, which is, I think, honestly, I really do think that the running back and wide receiver position are a lot closer than they usually are. And in every casual fantasy league, there's going to be those boomers that take 18 running backs in the first 24 picks. But for the most part, I feel like 90% of fantasy leagues, there's been a little bit of a, what's it called when like things even out again? There's a word for it.
Water pendulum.
There's like there's like this state of, there's this state of like
flow,
evenness of the running back and wide receiver position because of the running back renaissance that we
had
last year. There's a word for it. There's somebody with education. Let me know in the chat.
Regress to the mean?
No, I'm saying like it's when all things equal each other in the universe. There's
all
like
things balanced.
Yeah, like a state of balance, I guess, is a good way to. There's
Equilibrium.
An actual equilibrium. Yeah, that's a good word for it too. Like there's a state of equilibrium that because we had the running back season we had last year, but people are not going to like overreact to last year, that it's created equilibrium in the market. It's not like we have all these running backs going way too high now. It's like people are like, okay, running backs were good last year. Let's put some respect on them a little bit.
Yeah. No, it's funny because in casual leagues, there is 2 separate draft strategies. You ready, Corey?
What's that?
There is 0 RB and there's robust RB. That's the only strategies they know. They either take running backs early or they don't take running backs early.
Yeah, pretty much.
like there's no actual structure other than, do I take running back here?
Yeah, no, that's pretty much the structure for a lot of drafters. And I do think it's the only thing that you and I definitely agree on is that it maybe is not the best year to draft quarterbacks and tight ends early because we want to grab our running backs and wide receivers early.
Just don't draft like 4 running backs in the first 5 rounds because I've seen that happen by some people.
In like a euphoric world in which I have the perfect draft and the values line up for me, I would love to walk out of the first 7 rounds with 3 running backs and 4 wide receivers.
Dude, I mean, I mentioned it to you. It's like realistically in the first 8 rounds, I allocate 1 1Z pick. I'm allowed at max.
Yeah, that's a good point. Even then, man, I'm totally cool walking out of the first 8 rounds with 5 wide receivers, 3 running backs.
Yeah, I mean, it also depends. Like, if you're in a deeper league, like that's going to be way more.
Round 9, 10, 11, and 12 are so much better projections at the onesies than they are at the running back and wide receiver position. So that's why I'm like, I might as well just get these guys before it dries up.
Like, on Underdog right now, I'm debating, do I draft Trey Harris, 2nd round wide receiver, fending for targets with 2 other people?
That's
or
do
I
draft
parity?
Parity. That was the word I was looking for.
Do I draft 2nd round receiver Trey Harris for the Chargers, or do I draft 10th overall pick tight end from the Bears? You know what I mean? Yeah. It's like, why is Harris going above Loveland when Loveland is just straight up a better receiver and plays a more scarce position? And Bushy's on the... Yep. Okay, I can handle it for a little bit while he's doing his thing. Obviously, he goes and gets his boy Chris Godwin there, builds up that receiver core, Puka, Pickens, Reed, and Godwin. Shout out Pickens, by the way. Bushy boy getting his share of Pickens. Just don't draft Dalton Kincaid, anything, and everything will be okay. Gotcha. Love your rankings and feedback, but your finish and flock would give me... No, that's comedy that people actually commented that. Corey has to hug that last place, but it is hilarious how last place Corey won 1 less game in the regular season than the ultimate winner in Avery. So that is that's funny. I will say though, I was talking my shit when I started 3-0, and then my whole team went on IR. You know, Rashid Rice. We got Mahomes dolphin diving into his kneecap for absolutely no fucking reason other than statting. What was he even doing? Padding his stats on his tackle numbers? Like, what was the point of that? I'm a starting quarterback. I'm the face of the fucking league, but let me just absolutely dolphin dive helmet first into my number 1 receiver's knee. Very nice strategy there from Mahomes. Absolutely fucking brutal. Malik Neighbors, I mean, the toe, I don't know what's going on there. Would he step on it? A cleat step on it? Turf toe? Whatever. Turf toe is just the most ambiguous freaking injury. Like, how did it happen? Like, did it, like, get compressed into the turf? Did someone step on it? Like, what the fuck happened there, right? Got Malik Neighbors doing that. And, I mean, on top it off, I mean, Nico Collins, absolute beast, ripping off a fucking 70-yard touchdown against the Bills. But sure, his fucking hamstring goes lame duck because he's running too far. Like, give me a break. As you guys can tell, I'm completely not toxic, not salty about how the season played out. But realistically, if you draft those 3 wide receivers and that's what happens, you're gonna feel some type of way. It happens. I mean, this is the beauty of fantasy. Hey, we're 3-0, we're celebrating our fucking wins, and then everything's gone. Oh, Dylan, what did I already bore you out, Dylan? The fuck? Can we get Bush back? You're not liking the wide receiver talk. You're getting a little bored. I mean, I understand this new young generation always needs a screen in front of them, but it's tough. Dude, I'm a generational yapper. What are you expecting there, Dylan? Yeah, it's fucking pain, Jory. Fucking pain. But I'm about to be back on the clock here. I mean, we mentioned Trey Harris. Definitely not going to be my pick here. Taking a look. There's a couple wide receivers that are pretty interesting. I could go back to the running back well as well. A couple decent running back projections as well. Honestly, I'm pretty cool across the board. And Bushy's arriving.
What were you talking about when I was gone? The whole chat's going, that you're all salty.
Oh, I just mentioned, I'm like, because somebody's like joking around. They're like, I don't know if I should take your guys' redraft advice serious. And I joked around. I'm like, yeah, Corey last place, finishing with one less regular season win than Avery. And then I had a little rant about how my whole team got hurt.
Yeah, no, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I had a great season last year. Yeah, exactly. I'm not going to sit here and tell you I had a great year. I'm going to sit here and tell you that I'm going to have a better year this year. We are moving forward. I'm not going to make excuses.
Hey, what's up, ladies?
What's up, ladies?
Hey, yo,
quick recommendation, by the way. If you guys ever buy anything from IKEA or any, Struck Tube, some site that you have to assemble yourself, use TaskRabbit, because I just used it and the guy literally did it in 30 minutes and assembled 2 bookcases for me, and it was like $40. Like, it was not expensive at all, and shit, that was worth it, because I would have spent probably 2 hours doing it and I didn't feel like doing that. TaskRabbit, yeah. And IKEA, you get specifically a discount if you buy something on IKEA first. Like, it gives you like a promo code or something to use.
Yeah, okay, makes sense.
So, quick recommendation, not a sponsor, of course, but TaskRabbit, shout out. This guy has probably assembled this bookcase 400 times before.
Bro, he does it in his sleep.
Yeah, so that's
he was born to do it.
Everybody who's assembled shit knows that, like, it takes you a good amount of time to figure out the stupid intricacies of how to assemble it. You're like, oh, I made this mistake, now I gotta go back and start from the beginning. By the time you're done assembling the thing, you could teach a class on how to assemble it. So now you just get somebody who's already assembled the thing many times.
Hey, Bush is talking about assembling appliances. I'm talking college football 26 and how my redraft team became a shambles.
Yeah, my unk is showing, apparently. I brag like a kid when I'm done assembling. BMAX in the chat going, it's 99% of girls' Tinder bio. I know dude, I could have done it. It was $40. It's called outsourcing, BMAC. If I could pay someone $40 to do it, and we're on a live stream where I'm like doing work and like my time's valuable.
You're making it back.
It's outsourcing. That's all it is. Not to mention that guy is going to do a better job of it than me because he's already assembled the thing before.
Also, Dylan, you do realize the difference in age is only 2 years of us, by the way. You probably couldn't tell based off how we act.
Yeah. Also, I want to defend my manliness here for a second. I detailed cars for 5 years. I detailed cars all of high school and college. Like, I know how to get my hands dirty. It's not like I'm a casual out here who doesn't know how to put a bookshelf together.
Marty thinks you're delicato.
Yeah. People are like, this guy has never held a hammer in his life. We got a bunch of freaking lumberjacks in the chat here.
For sure, worth the 40. Yeah, okay. Mason's chiming in.
Mason knows. It's 100% worth the $40.
When was CMC taken earlier? Like, what? 5th round, maybe, say?
Yeah.
Where did McCaffrey go? Am I blind? Oh, he went to the 403.
On the board still?
403.
403.
I feel attacked now.
I said, yeah, it's a bunch of lumberjacks, and fucking AJ certifiably is one.
Nah, he literally is.
Yeah, it's them, dude. So the Bill Burr bit. Anybody who watches comedy specials and shit will know this. He goes, "Freaking the fuck out is part of fixing something." Like being like, "Where the fuck is the fucking thing?" No, there it is. Like that's part of getting something fixed is losing your shit.
Dude, no bullshit, AJ. You got to come to the meetup dressed as a lumberjack.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Everybody who's ever built anything knows that you have to lose your shit to fix it faster.
Dude, you know what my family does, right? Like my uncle, my nonno, they literally we're in the bricklaying industry. So you talk about tough hands. You try to give those guys
that's some Italian stereotype shit right there.
Bro, they're wearing wife beaters, beating in the sun on hot days, laying bricks for 8 hours at a time, 10 hours at a time. Like, I give all the credit to those guys. I mean, now my cousin's going in HVAC because what Italian 18-year-old doesn't go into HVAC nowadays? Like, everybody does. It is what it is. It's a family thing. Like, and it's great because anytime I need something fixed in the house, anytime I think I need something fixed in the backyard, I got some type of connect in the family that knows what the fuck they're doing, you know?
Yeah. No, you got to rely on the Italian uncles to get shit done. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
I'm going to grab a third quarterback here because I have a bit of a competitive team. So I'll grab Gino as my third QB.
Are you Italian Canadian Cowboy stan? Wow, you just summed up my life.
Yeah, that is correct. He's about to give MooseTheGoose a voucher. Yeah. By the way, Danny only had 2 options as a football fan. Because he's Italian, he only has 2 options. He either cheers for the Cowboys or he cheers for the Giants.
Or the 49ers.
I've never met an Italian 49ers fan.
Oh, I do. In Hamilton, they exist.
Okay, well, most Italian, if you took a poll, Italian Americans, who do they cheer for? I bet you it's like 80% New York Giants.
Oh, probably. They'll be like, have you seen that guy Cam Scanabu?
I guess maybe you could throw Patriots fans in
the
there.
Jets too. The Jets is a
yeah,
good
the Patriots are too a little bit.
Yeah, fuck.
Like Tom Brady.
Tom Brady.
Anyone with a Boston accent just disliked the video.
The quarterback of the Patriots.
Why are you going Australian?
It's not even a fucking real Italian accent. It's a fabricated American accent.
That sounded Australian to me.
I don't even know how to do the Jersey accent because it's not a real Italian accent.
Joyzy.
From the Jersey Shore.
Yeah. That was like me. What was that? Luigi or John Luigi in the chat?
Jam Loogie.
Yeah. The finest white trash.
In all seriousness, though, I'm not sure if anybody else does this, but if you have like a grandparent with like a heavy accent from like a European country, or like for example, my nonno obviously straight from Calabria, like he's straight heavy Italian accent, right? When I talk to him on the phone, I talk to him in an Italian accent, and mentally I don't realize I'm doing it, but I feel like it helps him communicate with me because he hears it.
You know who does that? People from the UK. I worked with a guy who used to turn his accent on and off, whether he was talking to his parents or not.
Dude, ma.
Yeah.
Yeah, fuck. Yeah, no, you get it then, Matt. It's like there are white people in Jersey that act like they're Italian.
Oh yeah, Pats are Irish. Yeah, there's the Patriots guys are just Irish people. The what was I gonna say? Arthur said, when's the meetup? I'm trying to go. So the meetup, Mason, you're in the chat right now, so you can confirm nor deny this. Yep. I believe it's going to be the Saturday of the week that we're in Austin, which is August 17th, if I'm not mistaken. Sorry, August 16th. August 16th. The Sunday is August 17th. August 16th, I believe, is when the meetup is.
Yeah. Also,
Jaden, we will do so. Yes, we can review the teams in the mock. Yeah, anybody in the mock that wants us to review their team, shout it out. Me and Danny will go through our own quickly in like 30 seconds. Danny, I know will take 3 minutes, as he usually does, but we'll go 30 seconds for our own teams, and then we can go through the other ones. Burrow, Lawrence, Gino felt like a nice little 3-stack of QBs. I tried the hero wide receiver with Puka and then filled it out here. Pickens, Jaden Reed, Godwin, Shakir. I'd probably keep taking some competitive receivers and then some running backs. But I like the way that my team shook out. I think they all kind of interact pretty well. Breece Hall, Achane is a top 2 running back core. Hawkinson, kind of an elite tight end there. So feel pretty good about that.
Gino round 11 is an insane.
Yeah, I liked Gino round 11 too as a third QB. I thought that was fine.
Yeah, for sure. Going to my team here, Josh Allen and Jordan Love anchoring my quarterback position. With hindsight, if I knew that Dak Prescott would make it back to that 5-6 turn, if I knew even Michael Penix, Bryce Young would make it back to that 5-6 turn, probably would have geared towards. See, the issue is I wanted a wide receiver or a Henderson at that 401, but A, it's like I felt like it was a little bit early at the 401 to take a Dunze. B, I just didn't. I ran out of time on the Henderson area. So regardless, love Henderson. If you want to supplement that instead with Henderson plus Dak instead of Kyron, I think either option would be the difference in how this mock would have turned out for me. Colson Loveland at the 512. Again, top 4 tight end in Dynasty. I think that's an appropriate spot in a tight end premium league to get him. Josh Downs, nice value there at the 712. Luther Burden, you know how high I have him ranked. Fill out my my running back depth. Sorry, I can't even speak. With Brian Robinson and DeAndre Swift, 2 guys that should have immediate workloads to pair with Kyron right away. And then Kyle Williams, kind of a little upside shot there at wide receiver. He goes higher than this in redraft, I believe, on Underdog now.
Yeah, he goes a little bit higher there. Also, AJ, let's pull up and I'll I'll load up my measly fucking 250 on the leg press and I'll watch you fucking squat 600 pounds.
Dude, AJ is a monster. Like straight up, obviously, like my lifts are not where I was at my peak, but even at my peak, dude, like AJ crushed me. Also,
Yeah.
Jaden, I agree to disagree, brother.
Danny's draft was ass.
I completely disagree.
To be fair, I don't agree. I don't really get why you would go Downs and Burden after you took Kyron. I think you probably should have pivoted to more competitive guys.
Well, I view Downs as competitive.
Okay, Downs maybe, but like Burden especially, I don't really agree with that pick.
Burden was just the clear best player on the board for me.
Yeah, that's
really
fair.
what it is.
Bench triples are at 425. Yeah, that's insane, bro.
The most I've ever done on a bench triple, I believe, would have been 315. The most I've ever done on a bench triple. Most I've ever done in a 1-rep max is a 375. So the fact that you're doing 50 more pounds than my 1-rep max for 3 is sickening. Like, what's your max now, though, AJ? Real talk. Like, it's got to be close to 500 if you're doing a triple 425, if not even closer to 525.
Yeah.
Let me know.
Let's talk about some of the teams in the chat. Dylan in here says he wants us to rate his team. You go Jefferson, London, Knicks, Murray. Man, I couldn't have drawn it up much better than that. That was a hell of a start.
Oh yeah.
Chase Brown 5'6", I think was a smidge on the early side, but I guess Hall and Judkins went right before him, so I get catching the end of that run to some degree.
Yeah.
Flowers 6'7", I have no problems with that. I probably would have gone with a receiver instead of Walker, but that's totally fine if you like him. Evans and Njoku, Jones and Jennings, don't really disagree with any of those picks either.
Yep. No, I think that was a good draft as well.
It's like a B+, A- type team here.
Yeah, for sure.
Actually, honestly, I'd give that a straight A, given the first 4 picks were just so good value-wise.
Yeah, I agree.
We also saw Ronaldo in the chat said his team was kind of similar to mine. Goes Jaden Daniels, Caleb with the first 2 picks at quarterback.
Great value.
Then he goes a little bit more competitive. The one thing that I would say is after I take Caleb, I do kind of maybe want to gear towards more of a rebuilding type of team because I don't necessarily think he's going to be excellent from a redraft perspective. But I mean, once you take McCaffrey, you got to go all competitive, which you pretty much did. Outside of the Ayuk pick where he's going to be not quite 100% right away. And Mason Taylor too. I probably wouldn't have gone in that direction after going for the McCaffrey
really good team
pick,
though.
Other than that, a really solid team.
Really good team. Obviously, this would be the type of team you maybe add some cheap wide receiver help to get over the Ayuk area. But yeah, Castellan and the last team are the ones that asked for a quick look. So we'll look at JA's team, Genty, Thomas, McBride in terms of a trio of start. I personally would grab a quarterback if you're going to fade it because
he lucked out that the QB position didn't really get valued super hard. I probably, once you got back to 412, I know I took Lawrence and Purdy. To me, that was a tier break. I might have double tapped QB there and gone Prescott and Goff or Ward and a different quarterback that's younger or something like that.
That's the thing for me. It's like I either would have gone with, I mean, obviously this isn't consensus. I have Caleb Williams and Drake May on that turn. So I personally would go with one of them here if you're going to be fading in the next few rounds. Or if you said, okay, Caleb Drake, I don't value on this turn. I take Genty Thomas. I think that's perfectly fine. At that point, though, you don't have the luxury of making the JT pick, especially when you have just such value falling at the quarterback position. Because although I like how, if Stafford was your quarterback 3 and you grabbed a quarterback where you took JT, I would literally give this team an A+. Because your quarterback 2 and 3 are both volatile, it does scare me because you don't have a strong quarterback when to anchor them.
In a vacuum, I actually would have taken Bo Nix over McBride. I have him ranked over McBride, so that's what I would have done differently. But other than that, I think you landed the plane nicely. Good receivers, quarterbacks, you can figure it out with those guys, with Stafford, with Goff, and with Milroe. I probably would have just taken Geno instead of Milroe, to be honest, because I actually don't think Milroe would have been threatening to go this high. And also, you then would have had guaranteed 3 starting quarterbacks that you could cycle through.
Yeah, agreed there. Number 4 does ask as well. I'm going to keep it straight up right now. I think
Danny loves those first 3 picks. I know that.
I think you absolutely like if I had to say best team in this draft, it's probably yours because I don't know how you got Stroud and Dak Prescott at that value after also having 3 wide receiver 1s. Maybe Laporta pick, I would have preferred grabbing. I mean, realistically, the running backs there, you're probably not going to grab wide receivers. Like Judkins already off the board there. Wide receivers, maybe you don't want to reach. I don't mind the Laporta pick at that spot in a premium, but
yeah, Igbuka and Smitty going right before that kind of sucks. But I probably would have taken Xavier Worthy. But the only thing then is you have Rice and Worthy, which is probably why you didn't do that.
Yeah, and again, that's a complete nitpick, by the way, because I took Loveland 3 picks later. It's just if you had gotten if a Judkins had fallen there, like this would have been an A+. I still feel confident giving it an A.
Yeah, for sure. We also mentioned, Kevin said here, I'm not pleased with my team. I usually go heavy wide receiver, but feel Bijan. I'm assuming this is your team based on what you said.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll keep it a stack. There's no
Barkley's
way I can go on Barkley at 205. And to be honest, once you do that, you better have taken Christian McCaffrey with your next pick or something. You know what I mean? Like once you're in bed with Saquon Barkley, you got to take only competitive assets at that point on. And you took some competitive assets for sure, but like taking Justin Fields over Dak Prescott when you spent a pick on Saquon Barkley, like you definitely should have taken Dak Prescott at that point. Like you have Mayfield, who's an older quarterback already too. Like I would have just hammered basically a redraft team at that point after you take Saquon.
It's just, it's tough for me because when I'm objectively evaluating the team, like obviously your clear superpower would be at running back, but at tight end, it's like I like Kraft, but it's not like you have a positional advantage at tight end. I like Mayfield and Fields, but and Tua, but you don't have a positional advantage at quarterback. A wide receiver, I think that's the biggest weakness on your team. So realistically, outside of running back, I just don't really see like another superpower on this team that was built out. Like if you were going to take those two running backs, again, I don't agree with Barkley going there, but even if you said Omari and Hampton is my guy and I want to take him as early as the 2.5, it's like I would want him at the 2.3 term, but I would think that's more of a play that I would be willing to do because Hampton's young and I don't pigeonhole myself. Because once you take Barkley, you kind of have to prioritize, like Corey was saying, the older veterans that can give you production this year instead of taking like the riskier young projections like a Field.
Like I would have taken AJ Brown over Garrett Wilson and not thought twice about that, knowing that you took Barkley in the round before.
I mean, even in the other one I see here, like Keon Coleman, for example.
Yeah, you got to take Diggs or somebody there instead for sure. Shakir, Jacoby Myers, Jennings. Yeah, I would have definitely not gone Coleman with that selection. And even Kraft, too. Like, he's a younger tight end. I probably would have waited on an Ingram or an Njoku or an Andrews instead of taking Kraft where he took him.
That's the thing, too. I love Kraft. I think Kraft's going to be a stud. But at the same time, where he currently goes in terms of the opportunity cost, it's like, you don't really get the advantage of hitting on Kraft late when you take him around after Tyler Warren and George Kittle.
Yeah, and you think of opportunity bundles too. A Dolphins receiver and a tight end. I would have probably rather taken Hawkinson where you took Hill and taken Waddle where you got Kraft. Or I guess Waddle would have been off the board at that point. But like, yeah, I mean, I think Hill would have probably slid to you where you took,
or even
Kraft,
Adams. Like Hill went 2 rounds before Adams. I have Adams straight up ranked higher right now.
I mean, I don't, but I still think that that was a smidge early on Hill. And then Jordan also kind of made reference to his team. We can quickly mention it. Then we'll get into the reviews that we have. Lamb, St. Brown, Hampton, Purdy, Judkins, Penix. I mean, dude, you just value hounded a lot of these. I mean, I'm not huge on Harvey, but 7.3 is fine with me at that price tag. I mean, you're drafting Harvey around guys that are worth fringe first, second round capital. So I do actually not mind that. I'm just not as high on Harvey. I probably would have taken a receiver where he took him. Like I can't personally take Harvey over Matthew Golden, or I can't take him over Addison or over Downs or some of those guys. But other than Harvey, man, even like I'm not a huge DJ Moore guy, but 8.10 is pretty nice.
Yeah, and like again, like we're quote unquote giving you a shit for Harvey. It's like Harvey at the 7.3 is perfectly reasonable. Like I don't think that's like
but 4.10 Purdy and 6.10 Penix were great values. Even 10.10 Darnold is nice.
Yeah, really, really good value there. You built out running backs you trust this year. You still have 2 anchors at wide receiver.
I'd probably go Gibbs over St. Brown, I guess, if I'm nitpicking.
Wait, he didn't go Andrews above Njoku, did he?
He did. He did. Yeah,
I don't agree with that at all. That's
I'm not Andrews over Njoku either. I think I actually think this is like kind of a cop out answer, but I actually think that Andrews has not fallen off from a talent perspective at all, really. But the very presence of Likely's route participation is going to be a problem for him to the point that he could just regress touchdown-wise and not have as good of a season.
Dude, and hear me out. Bateman is actually legit good. Like Bateman will continue to have a role and possibly even an extended one. Like, so like, to me, it's tough because the Ravens for the longest time, who does Lamar have to throw to? And that's when the seasons that we saw Andrews have his best years. And obviously last year, like not taking it away, like he's going to have a goal line role. He's probably going to score.
Yeah, he'll score 8 to 10 touchdowns, no problem. But he might only catch 40 balls.
Yeah, I agree. Like it could be like do you remember? It could be a worse version of what we saw from Gronk that one year with Tampa, where it's like the yards weren't there that year, but he was just getting there because anytime you guys were inside the 10, he could catch a touchdown on any play.
It's the like Robert Tonyan. Yeah. What was the one year of Jimmy Graham too with Seattle where he had like 10 touchdowns? Like there's always going to be these like veteran tight ends who are just straight up red zone guys. But my opinion on the Ravens tight ends is that I would probably rather just draft Likely a little bit later.
Yeah, like that Jimmy Graham year. It's funny that it doesn't even show up on Sleeper. That's Jaden Graham. I'm an idiot. Never mind. He doesn't show up on Sleeper.
But anyways, we'll pivot over to the site questions. For those of you guys that did ask questions over here, we're gonna rip through them, and we did send out I think 3 vouchers throughout the stream. We sent one to IDUP, who obviously said that he hasn't gotten a team reviewed yet, so we sent one to him. We sent one out to Dylan, and we sent one out to MooseTheGoose, who was in the chat as well, saying, "Hey, it would be nice if you sent me a voucher." So we did.
By the way, that's
over those.
That 2017 Seattle year, 57 catches, 520 yards, but 10 touchdowns, and he was the tight end 7 in fantasy.
Yeah, very similar to that Tunyon and Ebron year too, where you're getting like top 4 to 7 tight end production, where they're basically just all on the back of touchdowns.
Yeah, and it's like theoretically you say, well, if you're getting that type of production, like obviously like you'll draft it, but it's like the touchdowns aren't a guarantee, even though he will have a big role. It's like there's regression.
Touchdowns can be fickle, man. Trey McBride scored 1 touchdown last year, or 2 touchdowns or whatever last year.
Weren't those his first 2 touchdowns of his career?
Yeah, like you can get that many friggin'...
Oh, okay. He's got 6 in his career.
You can get that many targets, and sometimes you're not scoring touchdowns. So the fact that we can't like just project a guy like Andrews on like what is Andrews going to get? Like 70 to 90 targets this year, realistically? Like given the pass volume, I'm big on Zay. I think Zay takes a step forward. Rashad
I like Bateman.
Probably going to command like 100-ish targets, give or take. Likely will probably command basically the exact same amount of targets Andrews commands, if I had to guess. I just don't think that the touchdown thing is going to be super, super reliable, even though if I had to guess who's one guy that we could be saying this year from a year from now who's a touchdown regression candidate, it probably would be Mark Andrews for what it's worth. It's just that I just don't want to trust that situation.
Yeah. Also, we'll quickly show the board and then we'll get right into the reviews, like 2 minutes, realistically, because we do have to do these. But obviously, we've mentioned multiple times that we do have a Devy startup officially underway. Can't really show you the draft board from it right now because it is all messed up on Sleeper. But what I can do is show you the Devy board, which is what AJ's asking for. So for those of you that do play Devy, kind of want to look at what our league's kind of been valuing these, rookie freshmen, obviously more established players. I'll pop that on the screen right now real quick.
Yeah, we can talk about that for a few minutes and then we'll get to the reviews. We got a couple queued up.
For sure. So, it's pretty typical. You will see these like top names kind of go off the board. I would say maybe the bigger shock of the early draft is Cam Coleman maybe going above a couple of these quarterbacks in love. But I think realistically, a lot of these players in the first round, you're going to see go in the first round of a lot of your drafts. The one exception I will say is once this guy kept falling, he's my quarterback too in the 2028 class. He goes to Alabama. Player of the year, Gatorade Player of the Year in Texas. I had to get aggressive. Once Keelan Russell fell to the 209, I think this guy's got legitimate Heisman type of upside.
Yeah, someone explained to me this like I'm 5. Drew Aller was a top 5 Devy pick 2 years ago when we had no clue if he was good. And now as a former number 1 recruit, he's had 2 back-to-back seasons in which he's gotten better, and he has 50 touchdowns and 10 picks over the last 2 years. Why is he not more expensive in Devy, not less expensive?
You want to know what the reason is?
Because he's J.J. McCarthy, Justin Herbert. He's a game manager.
Well, not that, but the reason is because 2 years ago in mock drafts, he's projected as the first pick, the third pick, the 5th pick. That's not happening anymore, so people are a little bit more wary.
But why isn't it happening? He's not really proven anything to say that he shouldn't be going over Cade Klubnik in mock drafts. Well, I guess him and Cade were both the top 2 recruits in that recruiting cycle, but I don't know. To me, the race for QB1 in 2026 is between let's say Arch and Sellers are in 2027's class for ease sake, because I tend to think they will be. Let's say it's Cade, Aller, Mateer, maybe Carson Beck bounces back, maybe Sam Levitt takes another big step forward. Like to me, that's kind of what the race is going to end up being. And Garrett Nussmeier as well, who I forgot to mention there. Like that's the race for QB1. And to me, Aller and Klubnik as the high school pedigree, athletic, good arm guys are probably the ones that are most likely to be QB1.
I agree, but as you know, Devy doesn't follow a formula for value. Devy is just simply like
it's vibes.
It's vibes, it's hype, and it's funny because obviously I've talked about this with AJ before, but AJ was mentioning to me, he's like, dude, like you're getting into collecting sports cards. Like Devy's kind of reminding me of that because the aspect of the matter is it doesn't matter how productive you are in college. The whole basis of value in Devy is how much buzz you're getting in NFL circles, aka hype. It doesn't matter. Like, for example, I think Drake May is going to be a superstar quarterback, but because I think that doesn't mean that the whole market in the sports card community will. So it's like Jaden Daniels is like the only guy right now that is like worth like a ton on the market. And if you believe in the Mays, the McCarthys, like the lesser proven guys right now comparatively to Daniels, like you can make a ton in terms of value like this time next year because it's so reactive.
Yeah, to answer AJ's question, him taking Nick Singleton, Darius Taylor, Jordan Tyson, Cade Klubnik. Like, you got some good values based just on where I have them ranked in the prospect model. Sam Levitt as well, I thought was a good tier break at the quarterback position. I ended up taking Denzel Boston a few picks before. Boston has a really nice profile, 6'4", 210, had 890 and 8 touchdowns last year. First year where he could really get on the field because he had Odunze and McMillan and Polk ahead of him on the depth chart. So, yeah, I mean, I think the draft is going pretty decent so far. I would venture a guess. Like, obviously, we are so biased here when I say this. I think that this Devy board will be a lot more accurate than some of the Devy boards that you guys will see out there. And the reason for that is because we've made 4 videos now on the prospect model and predicting the quarterback class and the wide receiver class and the running back class and the tight end class. Like, I don't know, personally, what I see out there in terms of like people who make Devy content, it's strictly like high school stuff carries for 3 years. It's like, nobody really factors in that like Evan Stewart, who was like a top 3 Devy pick 2 years ago, had like 600 yards and was 165 pounds soaking wet. I'm like, don't you guys think that once we get to the actual NFL draft, his size might be an issue for NFL scouts?
Well, that's the problem. It's like like there's exceptions every year. Like I agree with you for the most part. Like last year, for example, the biggest difference for us is like I was all over Jeremiah Smith and Ryan Williams. Like that was the difference.
I'm not even necessarily saying just taking freshmen and incoming freshmen as well. I'm just
you got to look at physical traits. You got to look at.
It feels like people hold on to what we thought about these guys as a freshman throughout the entire college career.
Well, I agree. I mean, like that's the beauty, that's the volatility of the game. Cause it's like realistically, if you drafted in your Devy startup a couple years ago, Rondale Moore is the 2nd or 3rd or 4th or 5th overall pick. It's like, that's kind of on you. Cause realistically, was the NFL going to really value a 5'8", 175 pound soaking wet wide receiver as a 1st round pick in NFL? Like, no, it was just never going to happen. I mean, it's kind of funny. Like, obviously we have hindsight working with us right now, but it's like, everybody could have predicted Washington taking a 160-pound corner probably wasn't going to work out for them. It's like typically speaking, yeah, there are outliers, but at the same time, why take the risk on a lighter or smaller player when there's probably similar profiles with the size that NFL teams are going to crave? That's why like traits matter a lot when I'm scouting in Devy, because even if a player is going to give you less college production means jack shit. At the end of the day, it depends where the NFL drafts these guys.
Yeah, no, exactly. I'm saying like there's been some nice Devy hits that we've had like over the years. Like I took Malik Neighbors with full confidence in the 2nd round of a Devy startup where I was like, there's no shot this guy should be going in the 2nd round. He should be going in the top 5. And people didn't like when I took him. I remember people like I passed on like Evan Stewart and people were like, no way you should be passing on Evan Stewart for Malik Neighbors. I'm like, dude, get out of here. When you took Genty last year over Trevion Henderson, people thought you were nuts. It's like when you have information about a prospect profile from their freshman year or their sophomore year or whatever, and then you also combine that with, okay, what plays in the NFL at running back, its size, its speed, its receiving ability. Like we know the answer. Why don't we just apply that as if they're prospects now?
Yeah. Also, I mean, Daniels was not drafted in Devy leagues. Keep this in mind. Daniels was the guy who went under the radar, and he was the first pick in the NFL.
Maybe deeper ones he was because he was productive at Arizona State or whatever. But like for the most part, I don't think he was rostered in like half of Devy leagues or maybe even more than that.
For sure. And I'm just talking about in reference to ours because we, what's it called? Like we started up in both of our leagues 2 years ago, right before his breakout year in LSU.
Yeah, we should probably talk about the questions here, but yeah, we'll keep you guys updated on that Devy draft and also to a Devy update for those of you guys that play Devy. Right now we're working on a Devy rankings manifesto. So we're going to probably do like a top 50, top 60 Devy rankings. If you're asking why it's not out, it wasn't out 2 months ago and it's coming out now. I was working through the prospect model stuff. So I wanted to make sure this stuff was as accurate as possible. And B, I'm purposely waiting until our draft is over to drop it. Cause at the end of the day, I'm playing fantasy and I don't want my league mates, who are all of you guys who are watching it, seeing who I like. So you can call that You can call that game theory or holding out on the content, but I got to keep something secret because I literally unveil my redraft strategy every single year to all my home league buddies. So I got to keep something for myself here. Let's start with GymRat's question here. He gives us a little super message. He goes, appreciate the advice during my team review. He said, I currently have a pending trade for Jalen Hurts plus AJ Brown. I think he was just sending this because we sent him out a voucher. Yep. I don't exactly remember what happened during his team review. It was like 2 weeks ago. But he has a pending trade for Hurts plus AJ Brown. So I think we told him go consolidate, go get some studs, and getting a Hurts AJ Brown stack definitely qualifies.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
So yeah, let's get into some of the other trade questions that we have, and then some of the team reviews. We got a trade question here from JMChugh 4012. He would receive RJ Harvey and Trevor Etienne in exchange for James Cook, Cedric Tillman. So you can see by my rankings, Etienne versus Tillman kind of a wash. So it's James Cook versus Harvey. And ironically, that was our comp for RJ Harvey was James Cook. But to me, I think the real thing outweighs RJ Harvey personally.
Yeah, like if you could get like a 2 for a 3 swap on this, I think this would make more sense. But just straight up, like I don't see the reason for doing it.
Yeah, call me crazy, but I think I might have to move Tillman even beyond where I have him ranked now. Like I think he's probably even more valuable than the 160th overall player because of what he did in that short stretch. It was really him and Jerry Jeudy going neck and neck for the number one receiver duty there until he suffered that concussion. So for me, I mean, you give James Cook a contract extension, this trade doesn't become close, in my opinion.
Yeah. I'd agree. I mean, it's the bird in hand versus 2 in the bush. Like RJ Harvey could be James Cook. But even if he is James Cook, it's like, are you really satisfied with the quote unquote upgrade, which doesn't even look like an upgrade by both of our rankings from Tillman to Etienne?
Yeah, no, exactly. Next question we have here is from Zarq. Is it going to load? It's just a super message that doesn't have an actual message in it.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you have a trade question, by the way, Zarq, feel free.
Yeah, here, let me double check if he maybe sent it in the chat in case it didn't go through. And then if it shows there, I'll answer it. But otherwise, we can probably move on to the team reviews that we have. Okay, he said in the chat, he said, hey, I'm in a 10-man league, no super flex, no tight end premium, 1 quarterback. So very shallow league format to start 8. I was curious what draft spot is the best in a dynasty startup in a start 8 10-man league. What's the best draft spot? He's saying
start 8 10-man league. A place where is there third round reversal?
I would assume not because it's not a very deep format. Usually they're probably not tinkering with, if they haven't graduated to tight end premium and super flex, I don't think they're messing with third round reversals.
Okay, so a 10-man start 8 non-third round reversal. I mean, it gets trickier because honestly, in a 10-man start 8, I'm actually more willing to start with a wide receiver first round than I am a quarterback, as opposed to a 12-team, start 10 type of league, etc. And there is 3 wide receiver spots in that start 8. Keep that in mind.
Oh, it's actually, wait, hold on. It's a 3 wide receiver, 2 flex. So I think that would actually be a start 9, technically.
It's start 9. So it's 3 wide receiver spots.
You probably want to go wide receiver heavy in general.
You
so
can start
wherever you're going to place yourself to catch whatever receiver you want in the first round, I would say is probably your best case. To me, that would be near the middle of the board so that I can feel out each position and grab like a Malik Neighbors in the first round, catch like maybe a Drake London or a BTJ or even an anchor running back in the second round.
Yeah.
That would feel like the middle of the board to me feels like the best spot to go. But I mean, you can't go wrong going, I'm just going to take Ja'Marr Chase or whatever.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Middle of the board makes sense. Again, like theoretically, if you wanted an early pick, you could still grab a Josh Allen. Just definitely punt quarterback too if you're going to do that. Honestly, there's like really no bad spot to pick in a 10-man start 8.
Yeah, and Big Laughter didn't realize this was a flea flicker league. We will have to handle this one offline because we cannot pull flea flicker in the My Teams feature.
When was that submitted?
That was submitted 2 days ago.
Okay, because I was going to say I did a team review for his flea flicker. I had already sent to him a couple of weeks ago. So
yeah, he must have used another voucher or whatever to get another team reviewed there. But let me just quickly refresh this so we have all the teams that are submitted on the screen. But yeah, again, IDUP and MooseTheGoose, we sent a review voucher to you. And if you guys in the chat, this is your chance right now. I got a little bit more left in the tank. I can go to like the 2-hour mark, Danny. I don't know about you. If you guys want a team review, let us know in the chat. Maybe you've been following us for years. You've never gotten a team review. Let us know down below in the chat what your flock username is. You will have had to use our promo code FSE. Otherwise, we can
probably go another half hour.
Yeah. Otherwise, we cannot send you a review voucher. But if you want a team review voucher, we can break down a team for you. Leave it in the chat down there as well. So this team that we have, Znorgran, I don't know how to say that. Zorgy is what he has listed as his team name. He said, "Hey boys, looking for help on who to target with my 2 first rounders in a mid 2 to 3. Also, who is it time to move on from with trading for 2027 or 2026 picks or targeting a trade market? Really anything I can take advantage of. Not sure if this is my year or the next couple after this one." So he's kind of also looking for some direction here as well. Anybody, first off, his first question was like anybody that stands out to us as like trade bait right now.
I do. Wait, so he hasn't had his rookie draft yet because he's got the 103, the 106, the 206, 306, 406.
Yeah, he said who to target with my first 2 rounds. Okay, let's talk about the rookie draft first. Who to target with his 103 and his 106. I mean, Travis Hunter / Amari and Hampton, whatever one falls to you, is the 103 very easily there. And then the 106 is hopefully going to be one of the running backs.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's pretty straight up there. It is a 10-team start 9 non-tight end premium. Keep that in mind. So that 206 would be comparative to a 204. At the 306 would be a 302, et cetera there. So keep that in mind as well. Those picks are going to have a little bit more value in terms of where they're placed.
Yeah, 206, you'll actually probably catch that end of that Burden, Jaden Higgins, Caleb Johnson, RJ Harvey, Jackson Dart tier probably too. So that's not a bad pick to have because you're going to catch the end of that one. The 103 and the 106, yeah, hopefully you get Henderson falling to you. One thing that I would be comfortable experimenting with this team is figuring out where Hunter's going to go. Because if you think there's a chance that Hunter would fall to 104, 105, what you could do is trade up with your 103 to get Hampton or Genty, go up all the way for the top running back, and then trade up with your 106 to get Hunter.
Yeah, I think that would make sense. Also worth noting, if it is Hunter that you take at the 103, my suggestion then would be at that point is you have the affordability to move a wide receiver for a running back. If you wanted to move a Higgins, a Devontae Smith, a Jordan Addison for some running back production, I think that would make sense. Because then at 106, like you said, whether it's a Judkins, whether it's a Henderson, you pair them up with Bijan, you use whatever asset that wide receiver got you. If you take Hunter or an Omar and Hampton, if Hunter goes 2 and you plug in there, you have 3 running backs you feel very good about, 2 other running backs on your bench there with Charbonnet and Bigsby that can fill in. A quarterback you already set, wide receiver, again, whether you add a Hunter and move somebody or whether you just add an Omar and Hampton and this is your core, I think this core can suffice. And then at tight end, maybe you want to take a dart throw on the 306 on a Terrence Ferguson. I think that'd make a ton of sense as well.
I want to see who has Genty / the 102 because I want to see how likely it is. Okay, this guy, I mean, he needs everything. So he could take Hampton for sure, but he also needs a receiver pretty bad. So it's possible he would take Hunter or even potentially McMillan. We don't know.
What plus 106 gets me up to 102 with this team?
Yeah, because if you could walk out of this draft with Genty or Hampton and Hunter, that's the goal there. Because if you don't have to give up too much to be able to get up from 106 to 102 or to get up from even 103 to 102 and then move up for Hunter later, I'm definitely comfortable doing it. Let me see.
I have an idea.
101 as well.
Hey, how close would 106 plus Addison get me to 102 plus 202?
Yeah, that's a good. You could even, like, me and Danny talk about this all the time. Just inquire who he's looking at. Like, because he might tell you, I'm not going to take Hampton. I'm going to take Hunter.
Yeah.
And then in which case you get Hampton to fall to you at 103. And then maybe from 106, you could move up for McMillan.
Yeah, agreed. Like, let me see here. So 102. I want to see what the calculator says. And right, I have to read
my strategy in rookie drafts. I don't know about yours, Danny, but I was trying to secure as much Genty, Hampton, Hunter. I didn't do a good job of securing him, and McMillan as I possibly could. And it ended up me getting a lot of McMillan shares, a lot of Genty shares, and a couple Hampton shares as well. But I will say, like, it's not that I don't like Henderson or I don't like Judkins or I don't like Igbuka or any of the guys that went after don't like Ward. It's just that getting one of those top assets was just so big a priority of mine that picking 103 and 106, ideally, I would love to walk away with 2 of those guys. Even if, let's say at 103, you get Hampton to fall to you and you want to trade up from 106 to 104 to get McMillan. Like, I'd be totally fine with that as well.
Yeah, I would obviously rather go up to 102 if possible.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that guy who picks 102 has a lot of needs. If you tempt him with, hey, like, you could still get the 106 and you upgrade your 202 massively to an Addison. It's like, realistically, is there a big difference between Addison and the 202 in a 10-man league? Is there a huge difference?
No, I mean, I would probably prefer Addison still, but a 202 in a 10-man league is the 112, so it is a little bit closer.
Well, the difference between Addison and the 202 in a 10-man league is less than the difference between the 106 and the 102. So.
Yeah, no, that's fair. That's fair. And I mean, worst case scenario too, like, you take Hampton or Hunter, you take Henderson or Judkins, and you're still looking pretty good. Worst case scenario, you had to make these selections. And then at 206, you take whoever falls to you between Burden or Higgins, or one of those guys will probably be on the board for you, because it is technically the 204 in a 12-man draft.
Also, I kind of love how you're Zorgy 31 and there's another Znorgran right under you.
Yeah, that's weird. Maybe it must be someone's last name or something. I don't know.
It must be his brother.
Maybe they're brothers or cousins or something.
Yeah, that's what I'm assuming. Regardless,
yeah, this team's looking pretty decent, man. Yeah. Like, the other thing that you could do is go all the way up top. I mean, this guy is assuredly going to take Genty, and probably going to be hard to move off of taking Genty, given that he has what he would probably consider a decent wide receiver core and no good running backs. So he's probably going to want Genty. I'm cool going all the way up top if you want to try. If you want to try and go from 103 to 101, and, you know, I'd be comfortable giving up my one next year if I got something small back in return.
Yeah, sure.
101 plus, I don't know, something back. Like, he has a bunch of mid-round picks. Maybe you get his 2 in 2026 or something.
Yeah, I think that makes sense.
I'd be okay doing it just to secure Genty, because you walk out of this with Bijan, Genty, Swift is a good third running back, Puka, Higgins. Maybe you get a McMillan type or something.
I didn't even see he had Swift too.
Yeah, like he has a pretty good team, man. This is like, I get it's a 10-man league. You want to have advantages all over the board. And technically, yeah, you don't really have a dominant quarterback core. You don't have a dominant tight end core or anything like that. But I think that you can be a competitive young team with a lot of a bright future ahead of you with this team.
Yeah, no, I agree. Overall, keep doing what you're doing. We gave you some examples. Hopefully you take into action. Go position yourself in that rookie draft to absolutely add some needle moving production, some absolute hammers to the squad. But next team here, we got what?
Well, one thing he did say, is there anybody that stands out as like a trade target that you probably try and sell right now?
I mean, I think
most of these guys are buys for me, so I would say probably not.
Well,
like Godwin, buy, Nakua, Higgins, Smith, and Addison, all properly valued. Kraft, I think, is even undervalued potentially. Bijan's properly
there's a glaring
valued.
one.
Who?
One of the quarterbacks, because it's a 10-team start 8.
Yeah, I mean, in a 10-team start 8, you might have a hard time getting exceptional value for one of the quarterbacks, but knowing that Mayfield just lost Wirfs for 4 games, it's probably not going to be him that you trade off of. It would probably be Purdy, or maybe you can use May to get up to a better quarterback potentially. But that would be maybe the direction you go. If you could send a Drake May, like, let's see who has like Hurts and shit. This guy is Daniels and Allen, but he doesn't really have a whole lot. Maybe he's thinking he can turn.
Would you offer May plus Purdy for a quarterback upgrade?
Maybe. I mean, I don't know. He might not do that. You could also, this guy may be looking to rebuild potentially. You could offer him Drake May plus something for Lamar Jackson. Let's see what's Jalen here. This guy's Burrow. You could maybe try and go up from May to Burrow. This guy doesn't have a very great team at the moment. You could maybe try and offer him Drake May plus for Jalen Hurts.
Dude, you could even extend that deal. We're talking about him needing a running back. What on top of May plus Purdy can get me some type of combo of Hurts and Gibbs? And obviously,
or Hurts and Bucky even potentially too.
I'm willing to add a significant piece. Don't get me wrong, but I am curious, because if this guy wants to build the team, and I mean, I'm assuming it's your brother, because you guys got the same Znorgran, same name.
Yeah.
I mean, you're probably going to be able to communicate with this guy better than anybody else in the league.
But at the same time, he's never going to want to. If it is your brother, he probably doesn't want to trade with you either.
Yeah, I mean, that's the issue you're going to run into. But I am curious. Hurts plus Gibbs, can we get there using May plus Purdy plus maybe it costs the 103?
Yeah, maybe that's what you're able to get there, or even potentially like it doesn't even cost you that, and you can get there with your 26 one potentially.
Yeah, or like you add 106 plus, like just tinker with it. See what you can get. Again, this is, I mean, you made the video on it on your contending teams. I'll be making the video tomorrow on the rebuilding teams, but this is literally what we do. We look through my teams, we look through teams in our league, maybe what they might need. We notice, hey, Team Znorgran has an elite quarterback 1, but he doesn't have much at quarterback after them. I'm going to offer him 2 quarterbacks, because quarterback's a position of strength on my team.
Yeah, and he would maybe even throw you Sam Darnold back just to give you a third quarterback, but you have the GOAT Daniel Jones as your third quarterback, so you're probably fine there. Yeah, Moose, you can send that in at any time now.
Yeah,
we're going to be doing reviews for the rest of the stream here. We can move on to the next team.
I'll go until 2:15 or 2:20, depending on how much we have.
Yeah, and if we have a little bit of lag time, I can always go solo for a little bit if I need to. So Dylan, finally, after 4 or 5 streams of us trying to figure this out, he finally gets his team review. This This was a startup he did a month ago, and he said he got some insane values, feel like this could be a contender, but not sure. Maybe some depth concerns with Godwin and Diggs, so maybe if they're at value ceiling, I could get somebody's first. He said first-year Dynasty player. Dylan, I did not know that, but I guess you're like, can't even drive yet, so it makes sense that you're a first-year Dynasty player. Good values. I mean, at a wide receiver position, I think you did a good job. I like that you have all your picks. Obviously, you didn't sell any draft picks off, and you have 2 elite quarterbacks and a nice foundation of Puka Nacua, Travis Hunter, Jordan Addison. Again, like you said, a little bit thin at wide receiver. And also, too, like, because you went so young with a lot of your team, I maybe don't take the value on the Godwin and the Adams and the Diggs of the world, but maybe your thought process is once we get in season, those guys are producing, I can sell them off, and then obviously that would make sense.
Honestly, I'm looking at this team right now. I think you can compete this year very easily.
Yeah, I guess knowing that it's also like a brand new startup and nobody's a monster and stuff like that.
Like the one glaring area of weakness, of course, is going to be at that tight end spot. Tight end 12 ranked.
Even RB2 is kind of a weakness too.
It's the type of team I'm seeing. I mean, like obviously it's a brand new startup, but can you go to the team with the one? I'm assuming it might just be Bowers, which is carrying that. But
number one tight end core, you mean?
Number one tight end core. Might just it's just Bowers carrying. Okay, go to
let's see number 2. That might be this guy's got Warren and Loveland. That would fit your team for sure.
I mean, fuck, you want to give up a wide receiver plus to go get a Tyler Warren or a Colson Loveland. I'm feeling good. Like what plus Addison?
I give up capital before I do that.
Addison plus a 2 gets you one of them, and then maybe you get a piece back.
To be honest with you, dude, I would probably give up my 1 and my 2 for Warren plus a piece back. Or Loveland plus a piece back.
You could do that as well. Again, I don't mind moving Addison plus a 2. Maybe it gets you a Warren plus like a Charbonnet as a handcuff running back. I think that would make sense.
Yeah.
You want to get gritty. You want to say, hey, I'll give you Addison plus a 2. Maybe that guy's not as high on Jaden Reed, and you can get Jaden Reed plus Tyler Warren. Maybe you have to add a little, like a 3 as well to get it done. But
I will say the reason you probably have to give up your 1 and your 2 is that it says 1 tight end premium. So if this is a 2x tight end premium in terms of its full PPR for other positions and it's 2 for tight ends, there's probably a good chance, because I know from experience in the video I recorded, people will hoard tight ends. There's a guy, Danny, if you've checked it out in our in our Don't Give a Flock league or whatever.
Oh, I know.
Is it Don't Give a Flock? That's a 2x. No, Flocked Up. Sorry. Flocked Up is a 2x.
I know who you're talking about.
And there's a guy in our league who has like 4 startable tight ends. And I'm not saying this is an irrational take by him. He's like, I'm going to start them all like in my flex because it's a 2x tight end premium. So 2x tight end premium throws a wrench in getting the tight end position better for you. But I mean, I actually don't mind the core that you have. Like Ingram, Goddard, Gadsden, and Ertz. You got a nice mix of win now production plus a little bit of upside with Gadsden. But I'd inquire to that guy. Maybe he's not dead set on starting 2 tight ends every single week, and you can go after one of Warren or Loveland. I would be okay doing that.
Oh, it's Gleason. Okay.
It's Gleason. I tried sending him some offers already.
Yeah. Sorry, I thought you were talking about Cam.
And Chase, you're probably correct. In a 2x tight end premium, you're probably not getting Warren or Loveland for a 1 and a 2.
Correct. I didn't actually notice the full tight end premium under below. So that makes more sense.
Dylan's going to be a monster by the time he's Danny's in. You know what Dylan should start doing? Because he's like the age of the 16-year-olds. You should start playing Devy and just like learning people your age who are goated at football.
Whoever, like you're in high school, you see somebody make a flashy play, just write them down on the iPhone notes. They're like, good target.
There's a kid at my at the place I get my haircut who's I'll tell you his name after the stream is done, Danny. But he plays like the level of football you played.
Shit, okay.
But he's sick. He's like, Team Ontario U16 or whatever. He's a receiver.
Like
he's a receiver, and he plays in my area, the powerhouse school that beat the shit out of everybody. He plays for that school, and he's like I could tell just by like looking at the kid, he's like a physical specimen. He's going to be a good player. And I told him, I'm like, hey, if I get in a Devy league and you go to you get a D1 offer or whatever, I will draft you. I guarantee it.
Hey, I love that. Dude, I wish we got to play more schools around the area, because holy fuck, we would have kicked the shit out of everyone.
Yeah, it's just not the same for people in Canada. There's like a dime a dozen, football players that are actually going to make it pro. Whereas in the, like you guys probably growing up, probably went to high school with players who played pro football or whatever. Like for us, that's hockey players. Like I sat beside Logan Stanley of the Winnipeg Jets in high school in like 3-4 courses a semester. Like hockey is our sport. So we grew up going to school with hockey players.
Meanwhile, we were the number 1 team in Canada, but like it's all like we'd had a couple guys that went Div 1, but realistically it's like unless you're going to a prep school in the States, like they don't really look at a ton of Canadians, sadly, unless you're like literally like Chuba Hubbard or John.
Well, yeah, like
John Mechie played in the States too. He went down for high school.
So did Jamal Murray for basketball too. Like when
everybody goes down.
The area that I went to elementary school with in high school, like Jamal Murray's like from the exact area that I grew up in, and he went to the States in grade 10 or grade 11 to play basketball.
Well, same thing with the Brown twins. I believe they went down to the States as well. I know Curtis Rourke, shout out now of the 49ers. I know Dylan's watching this. He played at Holy Trinity, and then for his senior year, I believe he went down to the States for a prep school because his brother at the time was already at a University of Ohio, and then that's when Curtis just joined him in Ohio, and obviously ends up transferring to Indiana, gets drafted to the NFL. Pretty crazy timeline.
And now he's going to be the next Brock Purdy. But anyways, 19th like, just subscribe.
Let's
19 likes, fellas. Come on.
Yeah, let's up that. 200 views on the stream.
Here's our goal. Here's our one rule. If we answer a question of yours, if we, go through a comment that you made in the chat, the least you could do is like the stream. We're not going to say, oh, we got 200 people in the stream, we need 200 like. No. But if we answered a question or a comment of yours, I think we deserve a like for that. That's all I'll say. But anyways, Dylan's team, any other thoughts on it aside from, this is a pretty good build out of a startup. Maybe you could compete year one, kind of play it by ear, see what happens during the season. Maybe your 1 and 2 are expendable if the team's coming together. This is one of those teams you come out of the startup and you go, I'm flexible. I don't have to compete this year, but I do have outs to compete, like Godwin, Adams, and Diggs. If they produce like absolute friggin' ballers, then you're going to be in great shape with this team.
Yep, for sure. Overall, I mean, for a first team to submit, you're doing quite well, is how I'll put it.
Yeah, absolutely. And then any other things that he mentioned here? He said, feels like it could be a contender, but not sure. Yeah, so he's kind of in the same boat that we were. Maybe some depth concerns. Yeah, other than tight end firepower and a 2x tight end premium and a running back hammer to go along with Chase Brown, you're in pretty good shape other than that. And Russ is kind of a weak third quarterback, I guess, too.
Yeah, I have a couple teams with Russ as a QB3.
I have plenty of team. When you have 2 top 10 dynasty quarterbacks, you can get away with Daniel Jones third quarterback. Like my No Flockin' team, I have Stroud and Allen, and Daniel Jones my third quarterback.
Well, that's where I'm at too. It's like I have Russell Wilson in like the FSE Listener League Dino as my QB3, for example, because my quarterbacks 1 and 2 are Allen and Herbert, and I've experimented trying to see what plus Herbert can get me into like that next range. But people, as you know, in that league at this point are just be like, dude, I don't even care if you're overpaying. I can't enable you to improve that team. It's basically the fucking response I get. Sorry.
He was, yes. Logan Stanley was 6'6" in grade 10. He transferred from a different high school down the street from my high school to my high school in grade 11. So he wasn't in my high school for grade 9 and grade 10, but then in grade 11 he came to my high school.
Yeah, no, that's
and like I literally me and my buddy Calvin sat like right beside him in accounting class, and because I eventually went to school for accounting and I got a degree in accounting, I obviously did well in high school accounting, so I helped him all the time with his high school accounting.
He's probably just like, hey, yo, teach, bro. I don't have enough time to do my accounting. I'm going to the show.
I did once overhear him say, my agent said I'm going first round. I don't need to do this. I did once hear him say that in school, and it was a pretty pompous look at the time, but he did eventually go in the first round, so I respect it.
Yeah, I mean, fucking saying that to a teacher is insane work, by the way.
Yeah.
I mean, kudos. He wasn't lying, though. He did
go in the first round. Yeah. He did go in the first round. And there's a couple other ones too, like Stevie Lawrence, shout out Maple Leaf great. I know his fiance. She's friends with a couple girls that I went to high school with. So yeah, there's a little bit of NHL connection, but not a whole lot of, other than the Jamal Murray. Like I've played pickup basketball with Jamal Murray before. That's the other connection I have to pro athletes.
Yeah, and I'll just keep it to hockey because I could talk about so many different fucking ways to go in terms of like players in football, basketball, whatever. I mean, by the way, I grew up with Shai Gilgeous-Alexander's brother. If you didn't already know that, yeah, like I could talk about that today. You mentioned hockey. I will say though, the first year I went into high school was the year that Darnell Nurse got drafted to Edmonton when I went to their high school, or because he went to my high school. Like,
right,
his sister Kia was in her final year because she's a 96, the year I went into high school. So I remember hearing stories because Kia was in school about how like, oh yeah, Darnell, like he's repping Hamilton. He's going top 10 the NHL draft now. So like that was a pretty cool time.
Yeah, he was actually. Because I played SG as well when I played basketball growing up. I obviously got demolished because Jamal Murray was way bigger than me, but I did, and I still
just take you to the post.
I dropped a 3 right in his eye when I was like 15, and I was 13 and he was 15.
He's 2 years older than you?
Yeah, he's in 96, I believe.
Oh, shit.
Maybe he's in 97. But he was older than me. I know that. I can't remember how much older, but I think he was 2 years older.
Yeah, okay, so he's in 97, which, again, it makes sense.
Oh, he's 1 year older than me then.
Because Shea's in 98, and he took over the lead guard role for Kentucky the year after Jamal Murray left. So that makes sense.
Yeah, bunch of beats. But yeah, that's my absolute claim to fame is that I played, shitty house league travel basketball as a kid, and I once shot a 3 in a pro athlete's eye when he was 15.
Yeah. Also, we gave him the Arthur treatment. All jokes aside, though, we covered majority of this stuff.
Yeah. I feel like we got majority of this. But yeah, like I said, the last thing I would say on this team is if it doesn't go well at the beginning of the year, you got to be selling Godwin, you got to be selling Adams, selling Diggs, maybe even shedding Brian Robinson types as well off of this roster. But I like the upside even for your running back core that you piece together a pretty solid option between B-Rob, who's going to be your early season guy. Tank Bigsby's got upside. J.K. Dobbins has upside. Kareem Hunt, we saw him randomly be like an RB2 last year when he got the workload. Miles Sanders, you and I have talked about our best ball love for him. So yeah, don't mind it. Definitely do not mind it.
I actually have a DVD of like our team highlight video. Everybody on the team got a disc of our team highlight video from when I was 12, and it's somewhere in my room. Imagine an FSC stream watch along of Danny's 12-year-old highlights when I won MVP.
Danny is gonna keep saying imagine as if he's not going to actually put this on stream one time, because we all know that Danny can summon 12-year-old pics of him playing football faster than any of us can pull up anything ever on our phone. Like Danny will be like, dude, have you seen this 8-year-old picture of me?
Dude, I have this one dope pitch where I blitzed off the edge and they were throwing a toss or a power, or it was a stretch or a toss or something to the other side. And there's a picture of me diving from behind and catching this guy in the back.
Early onset unk, dude. That might have to be my team name for
no kidding.
For the Flock League, Arthur. You might win a free year out of that. That's really good, because why that's a great team name, Danny?
Because you're not quite there yet.
So I am actually an early onset unk. So that's why it's great.
Oh.
There's like 3 reasons why this is good. B, unk was going to be my branding kind of around the Flock League anyways. And C, early onset Republican is a joke from Shane Gillis, who did that special in Austin and does Kill Tony in Austin, or whatever his podcast is called. So there's a lot of layers to that.
Yeah, no facts. Also, you can ask Chase Brown yourself. When he saw the Ladster at the linebacker position, he knew to run the other gap.
Did you ever play against him? You ever tackle him?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I didn't know it was that. I thought he was in your division or something.
Oh, dude, they smoked us that year. They like he went for 200 yards and 3 touchdowns on us.
Oh yeah, that's brutal.
We played them in London, to be fair. So all of us I don't know. It's not an excuse, but they kicked our asses.
I remember there's a guy that I know who's my age who, when he was in high school, Damian Harris ran for 400 yards against their team.
Yeah, bro. I played Chase a few times. The first year when we were in Bantam, we smoked them. The next year when we were in JV was the year that we went down to London. That was the year our coaches were drinking on the bus and saying shit. I remember we lost against Cambridge that year because our team dynamic,
Cambridge was good too.
Our whole culture was a mess because the whole hype was our Bantam team was sick. The JV team just went to the semifinal, so this upcoming year that team's going to be the best of both worlds because you're going to have the best age groups. And Hamilton was always 99 and 2000. For whatever reason, that team, I don't know what happened to coaches. They were just alcoholics, drinking on the bus. Vibes were off. Parents were complaining. That was the worst team that we had of organized football in my life. We won 2 games that year. Every other year we made the playoffs or fucking won the chip.
Right.
In general.
Okay.
Well, sorry.
We can refocus. But here's the thing. You guys
Chase Brown smoked us.
That's live streams and yapping about, debates that don't matter. You stay for the stories of Danny playing JV football.
12-year-old.
Yeah. So Diener, done like Diener is what I wrote in the chat when I sent him his team review. Last 4-year finishes, second, third. So that's unfortunate. But you could see the large discrepancy in his team value versus the rest of the teams. He said the league is shifting to Superflex next year, and it is an IDP league. And he said, do I make moves to retool or keep competing? Redraft focus league with RBs valued higher and then draft picks valued lower, waiting for the league to be renewed for next year as well. So I mean, you're well set up. Yes, there you go. You're well set up for this Superflex transition with Lamar Jackson, Drake May, Baker Mayfield, and Bryce Young. And this team is deep, man. And all you really need, honestly, is another anchor wide receiver, realistically, and you're ready to go. But like at this team, you do not retool this. Don't retool this.
No, don't retool this. You don't even have your own first round pick. Why would you retool this? Like, fuck, if you want to sell a quarterback because people are realizing it's a super flex, like, be my guest. But if you want to hoard them for another year because people don't realize it, and once they do, they'll be like, oh shit, he's got 4 quarterbacks that are liquid as fuck, then they're going to be panicking.
So liquid, dude. So much liquid.
Oh, dude, you will be hydrated.
Yeah, you will be soaked with those quarterbacks. Nico, AJ Brown, Josh Downs, Tyreek, DJ Moore. Again, would Drake London improve this situation? Yes, absolutely. It would be great to have one more great wide receiver to build around. But knowing that like it's a start 8 and it's a non-tight end premium, so having Hawkinson, Kraft, and Njoku is more than fine. And you're probably going to start some running backs in your flexes too, because you have Gibbs and Breece Hall, probably presumably your top 2 guys. JT, Chase Brown going to work into your flex. Nico and AJ going to be your top 2 receivers. Like, you're going to be deciding every week, do I flex 3 of Chase Brown, Jonathan Taylor, or Tyreek Hill? Like, those are going to be your flex decisions every week. So, like, you're in
embarrassment of riches.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, you're absolutely cooking there. Is there any other questions he had in the initial?
He basically asked if he should, like, retool. No, I mean, I get why you're asking this, because if picks aren't valuable, you can just collect them. I guess that's like maybe the thought process here, but yeah, I'd be more likely. You've come second, third, or whatever you said the last 4 years. I'm cool going to make a move to get a really aggressive wide receiver upgrade or a really aggressive running back upgrade or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, like, can we go to the worst quarterback cores in this league real quick? Because I am curious if people are still trading.
This guy's only got Burrow right now. I mean, he's probably safe for the moment. This guy's got QBs. What do we got? 10th rated. This guy's got Herbert and Carr. Maybe he's thinking he could use a QB. I mean, he's got Christian too, and Christian would really fit your team.
It gets pretty apparent to me. You said that it goes to Superflex after the season?
Yeah, he said that.
After the season. You got to start getting the FOMO in this league. Being like, I still can't believe... Like Bush knows I do this all the time. It's like if I'm stacked at a position and I want to cause a little bit of fear-mongering, like I'll be like, wow, I can't believe the tight ends are still on the board. Or maybe I might say randomly in chat, wow, like it's going to Superflex next year and I feel great about my quarterback. Like even just simple shit like that. And then people will be like, wait, like I don't feel good about my quarterback core. Like, should I? Like,
yeah,
like, you cause like fear mongering is the best way to put it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. You can definitely get people there when they don't feel like they have enough to get there too. I mean, this
has to be indirectly though. Don't just say in
Michael
chat.
Penix is his only quarterback. Also, definitely something that should be exploitable. You want to go up, see how much it costs you to get from Breece to Bijan or Chase Brown or Jonathan Taylor to Bijan, using the fact that he doesn't have quarterbacks to your advantage and being like, hey, dude, I'll give you Breece Hall and Baker Mayfield if you give me Bijan, or I'll give you Breece Hall, Baker Mayfield plus if you give me Bijan.
Yeah, exactly. And Arthur knows the propagandist. At the same time, it's like, I will only say it if it's actually like true. Like I'm not just gonna say some bullshit. Like for example, when I said that in the tight end thing in our chat, like I meant it, full tight end premium, like they were falling. So like I was just exaggerating the point a little bit, but I actually did believe it. Same thing at this. Like I do think quarterbacks will matter a fucking ton in this league. And if I'm in your position and I have the quarterbacks, like I will be making little slight like fucking things on it. I'll be like, oh, I feel great that I have this core. Wow, I couldn't imagine having only one quarterback.
Danny is Adolf in 1936 when it comes to like propaganda. Just planting the seeds of his league mates.
Bro, it's called, dude. But when I did that in our league, there's one startup right now. Like I feel like 4 tight ends went off the board the next 7 picks.
Actually, let me get my history straight. He would be Goebbels specifically in this situation because Goebbels was the propagandist.
That's a crazy call.
Yeah, no, you're Goebbels. You're not the commander. You're just the guy spreading the news.
Bro, Fuck. Now chat's just gonna call me Hitler. What do we do?
Diabolical call. I mean, Danny's in the chat going, dude, I love my quarterback core. And I've been in so many leagues with you that I do know that you absolutely fucking do this. Mid-draft, by the way, Danny will do this.
Oh, yeah.
Like, there'll be like a sliding ADP value, and Danny will go, dude, this guy cannot seriously be still on the board.
I did it today. I'm like, wow, I can't believe the freshman quarterbacks are sliding with an exclamation point after I already took one.
Yeah, no, insane, man. Insane. But yeah, this is a monster, man. If you want to consolidate your team, you want to go after better assets, by all means, go after better assets. You want to take Josh Downs because he's got a lot of hype around him, plus your 2026 one, go do it. Go take Josh Downs plus a 26-1, see how close that gets you to, Drake London or somebody that's a needle moving asset.
For sure. But overall, very good position. Obviously, you know what you're doing. I mean, the evaluation bar speaks for itself. Any other closing thoughts, or should we move on to the boy himself, Mr. Arthur in chat, Sunny7?
Yes, sir. Arthur, he doesn't have a team review. It is just a trade question.
Yes, sir.
He said, might look familiar. Who did this with it? Did one of us do this with him?
Is that not what you offered him?
Oh, yes. It's 100% what I offered him. No, hold on. Pickens and Addison. I think it's... Did I offer him this in Don't Give a Flock? Because I think that would be the league that he's referring to. Because, yeah, I have Jordan Addison and Pickens and Don't Give a Flock.
I was going to say.
I definitely offered him this. For what it's worth, early to mid first is mean. Because I don't think my first can be early to mid. But...
I mean, hell, you're going to take it.
You did. He said you didn't. Okay, new league. He's saying maybe I'm not. This is not. I'm just saying this is a trade package that I might have offered you, and I'm pretty sure you have Jefferson. I definitely have both Pickens and Addison in that league, so that's why I thought it was me.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm curious. Then you said might look familiar. Then.
Yeah, that's why I'm.
What are you referencing then? I am curious.
Anyways, I don't know what you're referencing, but either way, let's break down this trade. Assuming it is two early to mid ones. And Addison and Pickens, is this enough for you to move off of Justin Jefferson? He said it is me. Okay, never mind. It is me, 100%. And again, I think these are going to be mid to late ones for what it's worth.
Yeah, we got listed early to mid ones for Corey when he's got Hurts, Mahomes, Achane, Kyron. He would have Jefferson at receiver and then two like that. Those are mid to late ones. So, I mean,
these are mid to late ones. I'm fairly certain. And I sent him this offer because I was trying to consolidate and get a stud wide receiver when I have a receiver core of a bunch of guys. Like it's Pickens, it's Addison, it's Sutton, it's Pittman, it's Debo, it's a couple other guys, I think too. And it's a best ball league. So those guys are going to make up things. He said misclick on the ones, but yeah, two mid to late ones, Pickens and Addison. If I'm just answering this question for you, I think it's a relatively fair deal because you are a team that was completely, tearing it down and shedding all. Like he has how many picks does Arthur have in this league?
Well, that's what I mean, Arthur. Obviously, this is probably not news that Corey wants to hear. However, you do not need to sell Justin Jefferson. Like you've already gotten enough picks to the point where nobody else is going to be picking in the first couple rounds the next couple years. Like he's got 4 ones in 2026, an extra one in 2027. It's like, yeah, you could sell Jefferson, but like, I don't know. Like to me, if I'm going to tear down,
also doesn't he?
Lad McConkey, JSN.
Lad McConkey, yeah, I knew he had a couple other good receivers as well.
Like personally, if I'm going to move Jefferson, I would rather say, okay, who has BTJ? I would go BTJ plus. Actually, I think I have.
Also, I'm so stupid. I could have very easily went like this to check if it was me.
Oh my God. Makes sense.
But yeah, this is the two teams that it's between. This is my team, and then Arthur's team is just literally picks and a couple elite assets. So Arthur's in a great spot here in terms of overall value. But when I traded Cam Ward, made it pretty clear that I'm trying to compete because I had Mahomes, Cam Ward, and Jalen Hurts, and then I traded Cam Ward and 2 2s for Kyron Williams, George Pickens, David Njoku, and then something else back, a third or something like that. So I made it pretty clear that I'm trying to compete here, and that's why I'm going after Jefferson, obviously.
Yeah, and I had full transparency. I had my own 2026 one, but I actually ended up getting Caleb off of Arthur, so I contributed to his pick cord.
So you're of the opinion that he should not sell Justin Jefferson for 2 mid to late ones, Jordan Addison and George Pickens? And
in his in his spot, he's built up so much value to the point where I kind of want the needle mover. In fact, I would rather try to see. I mentioned BTJ. Now, unfortunately, I don't have much on top that I would offer with BTJ, knowing the context of my own team. But somebody like BTJ, maybe it's like Drake London plus, or like you can get a slight plus on top of Neighbors, maybe. Like that's the direction I would go, because I still think you want to replace the needle moving aspect of Jefferson if you're going to move him. And
go for Neighbors.
Go for Neighbors, yeah,
for sure. Yeah.
I think, like, who has Neighbors? Let's take a look here. It's funny, I'm doing it in the My Teams feature because I literally have access to this. Okay, Cruise Control has Neighbors. He's got what? Neighbors, Devontae Smith, Waddle, Moore. He's got Genty at running back with some win now. Like, he's got a team that could potentially be competitive. So what I would offer him, honestly, is maybe, because he also needs a tight end, would you do Jefferson and McBride for Neighbors plus? Like, would you do Jefferson and McBride for Neighbors and 2-1s?
Yeah, I definitely. I mean, I have Neighbors over Jefferson straight. So,
but that's what I think. So, like I would say, even if you if somebody was competitive, like the max difference is probably like a 2-for-3 swap or a 2.
Yeah, that's probably what I would do if I were in his situation, because he's got such a young team that even if you have to pay a slight premium to get the younger player, then I would do it.
Yeah, like honestly, because this guy also has a Cruise Control. He also has Kyle Pitts. We're actually just basically giving a review because it's a trade question, but he has Kyle Pitts. Like, I would rather go after Neighbors and 2-1s for McBride and Jefferson in your spot, just because I can actually pull up the context of the league.
Yeah, no, for sure. Let's keep this moving so we don't kill too much time on this.
That's good.
But yeah, I think again, even though I'm totally biased because I sent the trade, I do think, relatively speaking, I would probably still favor Jefferson. Hence why I sent the trade.
How can I get a live team review? We actually just pinned it right now. Whatever. Can we refresh the queue?
Yes, I can refresh the queue, but I think we just have the team from MooseTheGoose left, and then Big Laughter obviously can't. We can't do his team because it's Flea Flicker. Mm-hmm. MooseTheGoose here says, "What should I do in the draft, and what kind of trades would you look at?" And he said, "Thanks, you guys are awesome." So we appreciate that. Moose Knuckles, shout out.
Yep. By the way, if anybody else also submits after, who was it? Brandon. Brandon, if he submits one, I'll help with that one. But if anybody submits after, like, I would say maybe unless you want to do one,
me reviewing it, or we'll wait till the next live stream if you don't mind waiting. But yeah, Moose Knuckles that we have here. This is a great looking team. I mean, got the shell of 2 really good running backs and some good 0 RB guys. You got BTJ, you got Wilson, you got Rice. Behind those guys, you're really shaky at the wide receiver position behind the top 3. But quarterback core looks great to me. Tight end core looks decent. I like the Kraft, Hunter Henry, Sinnott pairing. You got a mix of upside, a mix of a young guy that you can rely on. And then you also have all your picks in this year's rookie class. He hasn't had the rookie draft yet. So 104, 108, 203, 208. I mean, going up and getting Hunter. I mean, you're going to get McMillan, worst case scenario, at 104, but going up and getting Hunter would make a lot of sense for sure.
With BTJ and Lawrence already on the team, fucking get me that, baby. Get me a nice little Travie.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to depend what it costs. If it's not overly expensive, I would do it. But if it costs you the 108 to do it, I'd probably just take McMillan.
Yeah, I mean, like, okay, let's say it costed 104 plus 203. Are you doing it?
Yeah. Oh, 100%. Sure. He said, I think I'll get Hunter at 8.
Oh.
Brother, if you're going to get Hunter at 8, you take whoever's there for you at 104 first, and you take Hunter at 8. And if you have to get aggressive and it's 106 and you're like, I got to trade up from 108 and it costs you 203 and 208 to do it, I'm doing it.
Yeah, I agree. Also, I love how you structure your quarterback core. 10 team, maybe not having the anchor is the only thing, but like, I also just think like they're all like really complementary of each other. Where it's like you have the steady piece with Mayfield, with the upside that Lawrence and McCarthy gave you. Like, that's a good structured 10 team quarterback if you're not going to have an Allen or a Daniels or a Lamar.
So if you wanted to get real crazy here, I'd be okay sending the 104 and your one next year to get to Genty if you can, knowing that you'll have a chance to get Hunter with the 108 or the 108 plus a trade up gets you Hunter kind of thing. Like, if you could walk out of this draft with Genty and Hunter, I would feel so good about this team.
Yeah, I would agree.
Like, that's an excellent structured team there, especially in a 10-teamer, man. Like Genty, Hunter, McMillan, even those guys are going to be real needle moving type of assets for you. So I would personally get aggressive with that 108, whether it's moving up for a running back even too. Like, let's say at 104 you take Tet McMillan, and at 105, 106 you you want to go up and get Hunter, or maybe even want to go up and get Henderson potentially, you could go up and do that using that 108. But I wouldn't get too just, I'm going to let Hunter fall to me at 108. Brother, if Hunter's available at 105, he's a value. So don't be afraid to go up and get it.
Yeah, he says Genty is his boy. If that's the case, then what plus 104 gets me
Hampton
102 to Hampton?
Yeah, going up to get Hampton would make sense. Like I said, if you think Hunter will fall to you at 108, I would strongly encourage you to trade up to 106 anyways. Just make sure you get him. Don't miss out on, like, don't be like, I think I can get him at 108. If you think you can get him at 108, you should go up to 105 or 106.
Yeah. Because you're going to be kicking yourself.
You're going to be kicking yourself. I would much rather give up to 203 to get up to 105, 106 than be kicking myself that I didn't get Hunter and instead I have to take, Igbuka or whatever.
Yeah, I agree there. Overall, though, like we said, very, very well-structured team. Got the upside there at Kraft. Kraft at tight end, obviously. Quarterbacks, we mentioned the core. If you're not going to have an anchor, well-built trio there. You get one more additional piece at running back and another piece of receiver. And I think you're ready to not only compete, but potentially be right in the midst of that championship contention. I am curious to see how this team compares to the teams in the top three, because I'm looking at this, like, you're kind of stacked across the board. I guess it would maybe be the quarterbacks keeping it down comparatively.
Yeah, I mean, this guy is just some loaded assets at the top with Gibbs, with Jefferson, with Nakua, McConkey, and McBride. Those guys are going to move the needle, and this guy's got 4 elite receivers, so that moves the needle for him. And then this guy's just a little bit more balanced.
He's got Bowers, that's why.
Tight end core, I guess. I don't know. I think your team is better than this guy's team. I don't know why it's not ahead of it. I guess he has the 102 and the 103, and the 105, so that's part of it.
Yeah, for sure. But
let me ask you this. Just one thing, because this could happen. McMillan goes 103. Hampton goes 102. And Genty goes 105. Or 101, sorry. That would be crazy if you went 105. You think you can get Hunter 108, but do you just say, I'm just going to take him 104? And then maybe from 108, you move up for Henderson or Judkins or something?
Yeah, I would.
Would you just take him 104 and not really ask any questions? You could also just take Henderson 104 and then move up, but...
I would take him. I would take him 102. So 104 works for me.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't get too cute with Hunter. I guess is our point here, is just make sure you get him on your roster somehow, even if it means taking him at 104, because Danny has him ranked 102. I have him ranked 102, and 80% of the time I would take him 102 unless you really, really needed a running back. Then I'm okay taking Hampton. But for the most part, yeah, if you could walk out of this draft with 2 of McMillan, Hunter, Henderson, that would feel pretty good. If you could walk away with 2 of those guys, if possible, using your other picks and potentially trading up there. So yeah, we can. Is there anything else? He said, what kind of trades would you look at? Is there anything else on his roster that you think maybe a sell high candidate or something like that?
Nothing that speaks out in particular. I'm looking through. Nothing really. I guess maybe in season, if I don't know, fucking Swift got hurt and Roshan had some buzz, you could sell him. Other than that, I don't really see any glaring I gotta sell this guy.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, I think that's definitely fair. There's nothing real. I like all the guys you have at value. Yeah. It's not like Coker's worth a whole lot. You know what I mean? You just hold on to guys like that. And Kraft and Thomas and Wilson and Rice. I mean, the only guy that stands out to me is that I kind of have Rice a little bit overvalued. But other than him, and even there's people who love Rice, so I get it. He's the only one that I would say maybe you shop for a tier upgrade. How much on top of Rashee Rice does it take to get you Drake London or something like that? I do think you could maybe pivot off of Rice potentially, but he'd be the only one that stands out to me.
Yep, for sure.
We did have Joe Shiesty submit another team. I just want to shout this out really quick because Joe Shiesty submitted his team and it looks like he paid full price for the team review. And I just do want to shout out, maybe you just tipped and we obviously appreciate that. But for those of you guys that don't know, if you are a site subscriber using promo code FSE and you buy a team review, it is, I believe, $25 cheaper to buy a team review if you're already a site subscriber. And if you're a site subscriber not using our code, like using Mason's code or Domain's code or Land's code, I think it's $15 cheaper, even if it's not our code that you use. So being a site subscriber does save you a little bit in the long run. And of course, if you're an annual site subscriber, you get a free team review every single year that you could have used, but I don't know exactly what your situation here is. Brandon, who's in the chat right here. So
appreciate that, by the way. And also, Chiefs fan, I mean, I love me some Rashee Rice as well, so I don't blame you for...
Yeah, if you're a Chiefs fan, you're fine, obviously. But let's look at this team. This is a great look at the squad. I mean, Joe Shiesty, I'm assuming this guy's a Burrow Bengals fan or even LSU Tigers fan, whatever, because he's got the Chase Burrow stack.
With those picks. Oh my Lord.
With these picks is going to play very, very well. I guess I was of the opinion that nobody had rookie drafts left. I guess maybe there's like a select 30 to 40% of the dynasty community that doesn't do their rookie drafts until shortly before the season. And we actually have it planned out in our schedule that next week we're going to do an updated rookie rankings for those of you guys, because there's things that have changed, buzz through camp, things of that nature, that we could do an updated version of our rookie rankings. I can't imagine it changed too much, but the one change I know for sure that I would have made is I had Golden ahead of the tight ends before in April, and now I definitely would take the tight ends over Golden.
I agree. That would be a big difference from a micro perspective. Another one, I mean, the range of wide receiver in the second round probably
Harvey moves down probably after the Dobbins signing as well.
Yeah, Harvey a little bit. I mean, I already had him at the end of that one.
I mean, not for us, but I'm saying for most people.
For most people, I would say now it's probably pretty unanimous that you take Kyle Williams over Jack Besh, given their redraft ADPs as well.
Yep.
Like, is there any other ones I'm missing? Like maybe Tootin falls a little bit down.
Yeah, Tootin falls a little bit. I think Tootin and Scadaboo together both were probably more appealing in April than they are now.
The second tier of tight ends goes to the top of the third, probably.
Yeah, like I would actually be almost comfortable taking Ferguson and Mason Taylor near the back second.
Yeah, that's 2-3 turn feels reasonable.
Any tight end premium, of course, not a non-tight end premium, but a half tight end premium or a full tight end premium. I think they're probably closer to second round picks than I wanted to have. Me and Fannin too.
Yeah, for sure.
But anyways, this is a team that we got on hand here for us with Brandon in the chat. I mean, it looks like a friggin' squad here, and it could definitely compete because between Chase Brown and Alvin Kamara, you're going to be good at running back. Obviously, a little bit lacking of depth, but you're going to have the 102, 105, 107, and 110 to make up for that. And I would imagine I would love to come out of this year's rookie draft with 2 running backs, specifically, maybe 3. If you can get 102, you take Hampton, 105, you take Henderson, 107, you take Judkins. Like, I mean, you could walk out of here with a bunch of running backs.
I got a better plan. You ready?
What's that?
You just take the guy that we have ranked 102, 102.
I mean, and you have Lawrence already too. So I'm assuming Hunter makes a lot of sense for you to take him there.
Yeah. And then AJ Brown's moved for a running back.
Well, what I was going to suggest was, is Hunter going to go 102 in your draft? Because what if he's not, and you take Hampton 102 and trade up from 105, or just take him at 105? You could always maneuver with that. Or let's say you take Hunter 102 because we have him ranked 102. We're totally comfortable taking there. You could trade up from 105 to 103 for Hampton potentially.
Does 107 and 110 get you 103?
Let's see. Who has the 103 in this league? This guy's 106, maybe.
I'd be willing to give both those picks for 103 very easily.
I mean, you got to keep in mind, too, that he is technically, by small definition margin here, he is technically a monster. He has more value than any team in his league.
So they might want to tax him.
Knowing that you're the best team in your league, you may have to pay a premium to go up and get high-end picks like this. Like, I mean, this guy needs a lot, man. I'd be comfortable giving him 2 picks, no problem, plus more for the 101. Give him 107, 110 in your first next year for Genty.
I was really going to say, too, like 105 plus 107 for 101.
My first offer to him would be, I'm giving you 107, 110 in my first next year for Genty.
Yeah, I think that's reasonable. Yeah,
I think that's a very viable, given the state of that your team is in. Like you want hammers, and Genty's an absolute hammer. So
absolutely,
this is the 103 team here, and he could definitely use some pieces. And also worth noting that he is BTJ, so it's probably less
with no Lawrence. Well. With no Lawrence, because if you had Lawrence, maybe you would be fine with the double stack. Probably not as willing to double stack them without Lawrence. So yeah, I agree.
And he mentions it here. He has BTJ at 103, so he's probably not going to take Travis. And he also says 104 is desperate for a quarterback, so they're probably going to take Cam Ward. So I mean, if you want to risk it and you want to just punt Hunter to 105, I think it's viable, man. Because 102 you get Hampton, or even potentially 102 plus you get Genty. That's what I would do. Also,
I give the 102 plus 110 for Genty.
Yeah, 102 plus 110 for Genty is totally viable by my books. Hell, even maybe he would throw you a fucking 2 next year to get that done. Like
maybe you don't ask for a 2 from him because he's probably unwilling to get rid of his pick.
Maybe it's 27-2.
But like, see if he has any like random depth. Like, let's look through. Does he have anything that would be worth relative? Like even like if he put on like Ricky Pearsall on that, I'd be cool with it too.
Yeah, or even maybe he's really low on Ayuk given the injury. You could see how much more on top of 102 plus 110 gets you Ayuk and Genty.
Yeah, I think that works regardless, though. I mean, you have the affordability to play around with some.
He said he doesn't have his 1 or his 2 next year, so the 107 plus 110 and the 1 for Genty definitely makes some sense. He says, I thought about that deal as well. 102 plus 110 for Genty. Definitely intriguing. Dude, I would start, like, I'm willing to do that straight. 102 plus 110 for Genty. I'm willing to do that straight, but start the offer with 102 plus 110 for Genty and a 27-2, or Genty and something small back, and work your way backward from there.
I would keep the 102 and 105.
Yeah, Stafford and Amon-Ra probably not moving the needle. If you did 102 straight for Amon-Ra, I think that would be fine, but you also need running back more than you need wide receiver anyway. So
yeah. I mean, I would prefer Amon-Ra over the 102, but like, it's not something I would add like a concernable amount of like +2. Like, I wouldn't offer like 102 plus a second for Amon-Ra personally, because I just don't see that big of a difference between him and Omari Hampton or Travis Hunter. Like, to me, that's the difference between a mid 2 startup versus a late 2 startup.
Yeah, no, literally. Yeah, that's totally where I'm at with it. Like, regardless of what you end up spending these picks on, just make sure you get hammer running back assets with them. Because like, the other thing we didn't mention too is what on top of 102 gets you to Bijan or Gibbs or somebody like that. Like, you could always send, maybe the 105 gets you Achane.
Yeah, you never know. I mean, experiment around. You have so much liquidity on this team. By the way, fabled FSC term, just liquidity. Like, so liquid. one of our favorite things to say, because I mean, ultimately, it just kind of shows you the reason why we're called the stock exchange is you want to be liquid. You want to be able to invest when the market is low, get out when the market is high. You want assets that at any point all 11 managers in your league are going to be entertained by. Like, and that's the thing. Like,
which are picks and young stud
quarterbacks.
Players.
Yeah, exactly. That's your liquidity in Dynasty.
It's so easy. Ask anybody who has Malik Neighbors right now how easy it is to sell Malik Neighbors if you really wanted to.
Yeah, it's like, would you rather spend up on a sports card knowing that it's going to gain value potentially a year from now, or do you want the cigarette that for cheap, but it's going to give you that instant thrill? It's like productive veterans are like cigarettes. It's like,
so who's the cigarette of this team?
The cigarette of this team? I mean, like fucking... on this team,
Kamara probably, I guess.
Kamara's your cigarette, bro. You get that cheap thrill. You feel great. You get a little bit of a heady late night, 2 a.m. after the bars. That's your Kamara. It's like, once it's done, you'll realize, hey, fuck, I just spent X amount of money buying a pack. You're going to probably feel disgusting
after it as well.
You're going to feel disgusting. You're going to realize, fuck, I spent tangible money on a pack of cigarettes I didn't need. But in the moment, man, after those beers are flowing, that's going to make you feel nice.
Yeah. Noted fantasy football cigarette, Alvin Kamara.
Chain smoking Elk and Danny in a sports car.
Yeah, no, literally. But yeah, appreciate you guys all for tuning in. I think we don't really have anything else to say about Brandon's team here. Yes, thanks for tuning in. Like this stream if you guys enjoyed. Tomorrow, we will have Danny doing basically the inverse version of that contender video that I did, where I just sat down, sent out some trades, and got some deals done. Danny's going to be showing you guys the rebuilder's perspective of that, where you're sending out trades primarily for picks and young players and whatnot. Whereas for me, when I was doing it, I was trading for players that could help me win, players that could increase my winning window, consolidating, stuff like that. But shout out to that. You'll be doing that tomorrow. And then we already recorded Saturday's video, which is we did the rookie running backs in redraft, like projecting them year one. What do they look like from a redraft and a best ball standpoint? We did the same thing for the wide receivers on Saturday. So you guys will have that coming. And then Sunday, we'll be tackling the first ever, and I will venture a guess to say the most accurate 2026 tier list you guys will see for the 2026 rookie class, because we have the prospect model data to back it up for all 4 positions now. So we're going to be really refining down, what does the 101 in next year's class look like? What does the 106 in next year's class look like? What does the 112 in next year's class look like? What do the early 2s look like in next year's class? So that'll be coming hopefully for you guys on Sunday. And then my favorite time of the year, by the way, the indication that the redraft season is starting. Danny, do you know what video series I'm talking about?
Oh, I know. Come on.
What makes, or like, who is the next league winning X? Who is the next league winning quarterback coming up next Monday or on Monday? And then we'll be going through the league winning tight end, league winning running back, league winning wide receiver. And then of course, you guys know what that all culminates in, which is the #1 draft strategy video every August 11th. That video comes out, and that shall be coming. We're going to be doing a masterclass. Hopefully, this is the plan. The masterclass of weaving the dynasty and the redraft together throughout the months of July and August, because we do not want to forget about our dynasty folks, but we also want to be hammering out the redraft content. It will obviously be a noticeable shift in how much redraft content, how much best ball content we have versus how much dynasty content we have, but we will 100% be servicing the Dynasty listeners as well. And who is the next league-winning Canadian? I feel like the easy answer to that is Chase Brown, considering he was last year's league-winning Canadian as well. So appreciate you guys for tuning in. Like, comment, subscribe if you enjoyed. Check out Underdog. Check out the site for team reviews and all that good stuff. Peace out. We'll talk to you soon.
Also, if you guys are in a league that is don't give a flock, no flocking, Devy disciples, flock me silly, Devy degeneracy, pay attention to your inboxes.
Yes, because Danny will be sending out offers. But again, peace out. We'll talk to you later.